Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's all right. Just gonna check everything here. There we go. Open up a few websites that might be useful. Preom. See what's there. We'll check HF Underground for pirates. EIBI space for any signals that we want to identify. And that is pretty much it. So that's good. Let's now go to the chat. And here we go. Getting my voice. Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's all right. And this is this Saturday edition of the radio show. Welcome aboard. This is a show about radio. We are here about, twice a week, usually. There'll be a little something that I'm going to announce because we're going to take a little vacation for summer. And so I'm going to give all the details of that. But we are here on Saturday, and we are here on Wednesday, Thursday UTC time, and we talk about radio, shortwave radio, any kind of radio, as long as radio, it's radio. My name is Gilles, and I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, northeast part of North America. And we, of course, have a beautiful chat room. If you want to join in, say hello to everybody. It's always a lot of fun. They are great people. I mean, if you're new to the hobby or a experienced DXer or amateur operator, everybody's welcome. Everybody here is the same level. We're not pretending to be better than others or anything. We're not like that. We're just a cool gang of radio geeks that just want to have fun and share with each other. And I think wherever you are on the scale of educating yourself with radio, there's always something new to learn. Even when you're an expert, there's always a little something that maybe you didn't catch or didn't know about. And we're here for all of that, and we're here to have fun with radio also. We also have a Facebook group. It's kind of the after party. When it's over here, then we have, of course, the Facebook group where people are posting. We're about 2,700 members on the group right now, and growing all the time. And it's a lot of fun. We see people, what they're listening to, and their shacks and pictures of their radios and personal comments of, their own experimentation with radios and antennas, and just cool and a lot of fun to see all the activity there. So then definitely, and also, a great place once again, very respectful in general. And, we have lots of moderators to make sure that everybody stays in line, and, everything is actually very good. And in general, there's no problem there. So, welcome aboard, everybody. And today we're going to actually, it's going to be a back and forth a little bit with you guys, because I want to share, and I think it's going to be a good show for that. Today, I would like to share, and when we're going to get to this, I want to share any websites that you guys are using and the ones that I'm using for any type of radio activity. Be it an amateur radio website, it could be a long wave, medium wave, FM DXing, shortwave, scanner radio, as long as it's radio. If you have a favorite website, what I would actually say is, because I'm going to check it here, go, if you could send me some links at official shortwaveradio@gmail.com. I'm going to actually post the email address here, official shortwaveradio@gmail.com. Post your links or send me your links in the email. And if there are some that I don't know of, maybe you're going to have me discover some new websites about radio I didn't know at all. And I'm going to actually share some websites uh, that I think are important for newbies, for everybody, and also some of the websites that I use for getting information about what I'm listening to, and also tips and tricks on how I find information about any signals that I'm getting on the bands, or how do you find that information? It's something that's not always easy, and I think is going to be great for that. So we're going to have that today, share together. So send me links of websites that you think are, um, if you do use a lot of them, send me the ones that you would say, well, these or this site is one of the most important websites I think that everybody should know exists. And we'll kind of share that together, and I'll share the links in the chat room, because the reason I want you guys to send me the links is because if you're not a moderator, you can't really post a link of a website in the chat. So what I'll do is I'll actually look at the link and look at the site and share the link with you guys. So if you've got some interesting website to share with everyone, let me know. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Talking of email, I'm just going to check if there's some check-ins through the email. So right now, no check-ins. There's somebody, Harold, that just sent me a message. The monthly GS8 call QSO party starts at 19 UT. So that's okay. That's kind of interesting. If anybody wants to tune in, that. For the rest, no check-ins right now for email, but so send me links, guys. If you have anything that you want to share with me as your favorite websites, we're going to talk about it in not too long. The radios of choice today that I'm using here on the table are the AirSpy HF Plus Discovery SDR and also the Texan H501X. Maybe in one of the next shows, we're going to use the ICOM here, the Kenwood, and plug the audio through the console for you guys to hear it. So we're going to switch radios from time to time. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, the announcement. I am going to take 4 full weeks off of live shows, which will be, vacation time. How about it? I think I deserve some vacation time sometimes. Can't always be here all the time. So it's going to be my summer vacation from the live shows. And at the same time, it's going to kind of help me recharge the batteries a little bit. So there's going to be, if we look at the calendar, there's going to be 2 more shows after this one. So we have the show today, and we're going to have the shows that in the coming week. So Wednesday and Saturday are going to have 2 shows in the coming week. And basically after those 2 shows, so next Saturday, basically Saturday the 16th of July will be the last show before the vacation. And so we'll be taking a full 4 weeks, and that vacation is going to bring me to the return of the live shows that will be on Wednesday, August 17th. So last show, July 16th, next Saturday. And we'll be back August 17th for the return of the live shows. So it's going to be 4 full weeks of No live shows, just taking it a little more easy. There's going to be a lot of posting of videos, of radio videos, that's for sure. So the channel is still going to be active, and I'm still going to post all sorts of things that I listen to, and anything of interest. It's just that the live shows, I'll be just taking a few, 4 weeks off to kind of relax a little bit more. Doesn't show, but doing two live shows every week is more demanding than it looks. I mean, I have a ability to do this easily, but still, you got to focus. You got to think about things you might want to talk about, and you got to take the time to prepare and do all of this. So, taking a little bit of time off is going to be kind of nice. Enjoy some time off. Also, some days that I have, like Saturday, it's often the time when people want to do stuff, which is, of course, definitely difficult when Saturday is a live show. And the return of the show, I'll be probably more in shape of doing more radio, and we'll be heading August. We'll slowly be heading into the fall already. It's crazy when you think about it. We just barely got into summer, but and mid August, propagation is already going to be slowly shifting away from our summer listening to slowly go into what the fall is going to bring us, which is going to be interesting to look at. So this is going to be nice, and I think it's going to help me take have a little more energy when I'm back with you guys. So next Saturday, just once again, next Saturday is the last show before my vacation. We'll be coming back on August 17th, which is the Wednesday show. Hopefully with a lot of fun once again with you guys. So I know you guys are going to miss me, but we're it's fun to take a little bit of time off from time to time. Cheers, everybody. The usual drink of vodka cranberry. And once again, just want for those that that weren't there before, I would like to once again just say that we are going to talk and share some websites today of radio, anything radio that you think is super important. Even if you're not sure if I know about it or not, it doesn't matter. Just send me whatever you want to send me in websites that you go regularly that you think would be very, very important to share with everyone, and send them once again to my email, official shortwave radio at gmail.com. This is going to be where you can send me the links, and we're going to share links. I'm going to share the links that I use, websites that I use that I think are important for any radio DXer and radio fanatic out there to know about, and tips also coming up today on finding information about what I'm listening to. How do I find what I'm listening to, and what are the websites that people could use for that? I think this is going to be pretty cool to have your input here on this today. So let's go to the chat and say hello to everybody. Matt, nice to have you here. I'm DK2 from Denver, Colorado, USA. Supposed to hit 100 Fahrenheit, 38 Celsius. Youch. That is way too hot for me. Bobby Burgess from Morgan City, Louisiana, USA, WA5107 SWL. We have Boyd, nice to have you on board. Dwayne, nice to have you here from Tennessee. David's Radio Room, nice to have you here from Georgia. KJ4CMY. We have Arthur's Autocrafter's Kitchen. Nice to have you here from Massachusetts. Enjoyed the video indeed on the radio. Thanks for providing what a rather poor value the radio is. Gary24 Fan, nice to have you here from Windy Ford, Fairfield, Maine. What else do we have? Richard Wagner, nice to have you here. Um, I hear listening to Chinese radio on my grinding area start this week. VA3JPX, nice to have you here, James, in Ottawa. A hard apple cider on tap today. Cool. Enjoy. Um, Richard Wagner says 75 Fahrenheit, sunny day. Wife run off to visit a ARC exhibit in Kentucky. It's dogs. My turntable, fine-tuning cartridge, and piece de résistance shortwave radio. Cool. Art Don, nice to have you here. K2ADC in New Jersey. We have Chuck and N5 KVO in South Texas. We have Richard Wagner, RC Cherry Cola. Cool. And some Werners, then Stella Artois with dinner. Cool. TFP Taloha Fishing. Nice to have you here. K5ASL. Nice to have you on board. Larry and 2ICZ. Nice to have you here. We have 000. Nice to have you here. KD2ANN, New Jersey. Missed last few shows due to work. It happens. Unfortunately, the big problem with our hobby is work. It's always in the way of our hobby. But at the same time, we got to work to enjoy our hobby, so we have no choice, eh? Keegan DX, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. PLF Radio, bonjour et bienvenue depuis la France. C'est toujours un plaisir de t'avoir parmi nous. Nick Sharp, nice to have you here, and says, managed to hear Auckland, New Zealand in FT8 mode on the RSP-1A, 50-foot wire on a 17-meter band. That's good. Skipwave DX, nice to have you on board, Rich, from the Catskill Mountains. What else do we have? DJW883 from Southeast Pennsylvania. Laura Robertson, nice to have you on board from Italy. Ciao. Pretty cool to have you here. Jim's Radio Check, nice to have you on board in the Chicago area. RJDA Dakota, nice to have you on board from Wentzville, Missouri. Bob, WA2SQQ, nice to have you here from New Jersey. Byron, nice to have you here from the UK, 9 p.m. and still sunny. Just thank you for your help in starting my journey into shortwave radio. My pleasure. We're here for that. You know, it's kind of fun, and it's always a lot of fun to see new people that are getting into the hobby. And if what I do here helped in any way, all I gotta say is it's so cool because it means we're doing something right, and you know, it's a different hobby than it was in the past for sure. There's a lot of people that just look at the negative side of the hobby because of what today is, how it is today compared to the past. I look on the positive side of it. There's, you know, if you're only looking at the negative side of the hobby, it's, you know, you're always gonna be sad. Let's look at the positive side. I'm still enjoying the hobby a lot. There's still a lot of stuff. If you particularly go into different aspect of the hobby and utilities and stuff, man, there's so much out there. So we gotta just you know, focus on the good. And yep, it's different. Yep, I know, but you know, we can't just stay here all the time and rant at, well, I missed this or I missed that. We all do, and especially if you've been in a hobby for a long time. But it's you know, we got to look at the positive aspect and the things that are available and what you can listen and what you can do. And I see a lot of you in that positive vibe. When I look at the chat room, when I look at the Facebook group, I see positive people having fun listening to and trying out and trying to get different signals from all over the world, and even having fun, even if it's in a language you don't understand. Just the, you know, fun and coolness of, oh, I'm getting this signal is coming from, you know, this part of the world. It's so cool, you know. Robert Cross got a question. Is it possible if I can buy the new Ethon in Ireland? Probably from somewhere, definitely. I don't know yet who's going to have it and where. What I know, even here in Canada, I mean, I could buy it from a US based retailer probably, but I want to avoid that because there's too many fees that are with that. If I buy it from a US retailer, I'm going to get screwed on the price if I would buy it. So I'd like to see if somebody in Canada, I was hoping maybe Radio World in Toronto, for example, could maybe have it, and look at what price they're selling it and see. I was thinking about maybe doing a little funding drive, and you guys, if you want to chip in a couple of bucks just to kind of make the price more bearable, because it's crazy here in Canada that radio is going to be close to $1,000, and that's for me a lot of money to spend on a radio that um, we're going to see, because it's really a lot of money. And part of me kind of says, you almost got to have this radio um, because the problem is, I got this shortwave channel that everybody wants to see what I think of everything, and so um, I'm gonna have to check out what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wait until it's officially available, and I'm gonna check it out. Mike WX50, nice to have you. And so, to answer your question, we'll try to see how maybe you can have it from somewhere. I'll let you know what the possibilities. Mike WX50, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. We have Reggie, nice to have you here from um, the big metropolis of Portal, Georgia. Dwight, nice to have you on board from Coastal Virginia, WA4532SWL. We have Darren Rogers, nice to have you here. Kevin from Greenfield Park, nice to have you on board. Kevin, Greg, nice to have you on board and watch the new Ethon Elite Satellite YouTube video. Alan, nice to have you on board. Hope you are doing great and enjoy your weekend so far. David's Radio Room says Facebook page is very active. Nice. Yes, it is nice, because have you noticed the number of Facebook pages that deal with radio where there's almost no activity? I didn't want that. I wanted a page that's active, a page that people are actually posting stuff and talking about stuff. And it's working. There's a lot of activity there, and it's really nice to see the activity. Michael, nice to have you here. We have Vince Perrault. Nice to have you on board. We have VT Radio. Nice to have you here, Paul. AA1SU from Northern Vermont. We have PLF Radio. Just if you can maybe pick your favorites in that list of radio-related sites. And if you have that list, by the way, if you have it in a list like a text list or something, if you can dump it in a text file or something, put it in attachment or just in the message. Maybe I can take a look at it also, because obviously with time today, we're not going to go through 8,000 websites, but maybe after the show today, there's going to be a lot of websites that maybe are going to come up, and I'm going to be like, oh, okay. Then there's a lot of stuff, and I can talk about it and make videos also about some interesting websites that I'm sure there's a lot of websites I don't even know about that are great to be on. Jim's Radio Check. Anybody getting strange noises on 12030? What am I getting on 12030? 12030. I'm getting nothing. Here, there's really absolutely nothing there. It's an empty frequency right now. TVDXer, salut. J'espère que ça va bien. Gabriel, nice to have you on board from Uruguay. CVC 2606. It's nice to see your pictures of your moo expedition. I'm missing the cows. I need to see more. Jeff Williams, nice to have you here from Southwest Cornwall, UK. DBS Seat 777, KC1 PSK, nice to have you here. Hey, David in Barcelona, Spain, ¿cómo está mi amigo? Nice to have you here. Progressively going through COVID these days and showing on the mild side. Take care, take it easy, and matter of patience, absolutely. Mine was a month ago, and had it like real strong for about 36 hours, and then it kind of faded out. I still have kind of a little something. There's like a little something that's just not back to normal, but overall, pretty good. What else do we have? David made a QSO, SSB QSO with JH3NGD. Wow, pretty cool. 20 meters. Nice. Yeah, Bobby, a month off. We'll be from, so the last show is next week, the 16th of July, and I'll be coming back August 17th. What else do we have? 0-100 KD2ANN in New Jersey. Missed the last few shows due to work. Mark Schmidt, nice to have you on board, my friend. And thank you all for the I Deserve Rest. PLF Radio says, did a great video about the Ethon Elite Satellite HD. Well, you know what? It came to mind when I saw the manual. Somebody posted the manual in the Facebook group. And I thought, oh, we got the manual. I'm going to go and check it out. And then I saw the highlights, on the first page or two. There's the features of the radio. And I thought, how about we go, even though we don't have the radio, at least go through what features they are advertising on that radio and how, it is. Because, obviously, the price is high. It needs to have some interesting stuff. And there's a few things in there that are definitely not usual for a portable. There's not a lot of portables that have some of these features. So I don't know. It's an interesting. I don't know without testing it officially. I can't express is it worth the money that it's sold for. There's a few things that I would have liked, but I don't know. We're gonna see. Rustam, nice to have you here from Russia. JW, nice to have you on board from North Carolina, new to Shortwave Radio and just subscribed. Cool. Welcome aboard, my friend. If you have questions, we are here for that. Brad in Texas, N5LUL, WA5192SWL. Nice to have you on board. Yeah, for now, it's mostly in the US that I see also where it's available, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be available at some point somewhere in Europe. Easy Tiger, nice to have you on board from the UK. What else do we have? Let me just find where I was. There we go. Charles Williams, nice to have you here from San Diego. Joseph from San Francisco Bay Area, California. Mad Radio DXer, nice to have you here from the UK. Neil Rigby, nice to have you here from the UK. PLF Radio, at the end, you will do a video of useful radio-related websites. Yeah, I will. Definitely. If I do get a lot of interesting websites, I think it'd be worth it to make videos, to share the links, and probably group videos, like for specific websites or for a group of websites, maybe for the same type of DXing and the same time of, if I have five different, if you have five different websites that deal with medium wave DXing, well, you could do a video with the 5 websites and stuff like that. So That I think is going to be it's going to help everybody if we can share the joy of all. I always say it, the internet is not a killer of shortwave. It's in the other side of the scale. It's actually a fantastic a fantastic place for information. If I had all at my fingertips like I do today to find what I'm listening to and find websites that draw me for where with schedules and stuff that are useful for all sorts of broadcasts. Man, I would have loved to have that when I was starting out back then. Um, Darren Rogers, for information, Yaesu announced a new HF transceiver, the FT710, should be available in the US in September. So nice to see that they're, I think the ham radio side is pretty healthy still. I mean, ICOM comes out with radios regularly, Yaesu, and so on. So I think of, I think that a the ham radio side of the hobby is still healthy enough to maintain and look at the amount of stores like the ham radio outlet chain in the US and so on. We still have a few in Canada. I think there's still place for ham radio stuff. David, Central Missouri, nice to have you here. JW, I just bought the Ethanol Executive on sale on Amazon for 144 and some antenna to try. Found this channel through another YouTuber, Radio Topics. Cool. So Kevin, nice to have you here. From Montreal, Christian Marcus, salut. Nice to have you on board from North Bay, Ontario. Eric Cottrell, bonjour, hi. Nice to have you here from Boston. Sunny today and slightly warm. We're at about 72, 73 Fahrenheit today. Just perfect. The kind of weather I love, honestly. Francis Moore, nice to have you on board. Nice to have you back, Mr. Matt, MTK2. Tom DXer, nice to have you here from the Hudson Valley, New York. I feel like dog poop and when waiting for the result for a COVID. You know what? It's really resurging a lot. So many people on my Facebook are reporting that they tested positive in just the last couple of weeks, and I had it a month ago. And I think we're all gonna get it. It's as simple as that. KG Walda, nice to have you on board. KG Walda from the Netherlands. Dimitri, nice to have you here from Minnesota. Jet Crafter for Southern Maine. We have Alan says it's been so hot in the UK today. Are you sarcastic? It's kind of laughing here. John Harris, nice to have you on board from Texas. JW, there's a resurgence. Yes, there's definitely I would say there's a not necessarily a resurgence, but there's a awareness of the importance of shortwave suddenly with what's happening with Ukraine, and I think that's cool. I think not the it's sad that it took that to show us the importance of shortwave, but definitely that kind of that puts some people ahead a little bit more. Plus, if you look at the fact that Voice of America being blocked in Turkey, kind of tells you shortwave is important. The only way that it goes through. Only way that it goes through. Greg wants to get the new Ethon Elite satellite. Yeah, you better wait for first of all the reviews, and especially in these radios, the E1, because it kind of looks like the old radio, and there was a lot of there was a lot um, of problems with that radio. There's definitely some quality control issues. So the problem is that the today, I hope they fixed those issues, because if it's a $600 radio, um, and it's, a 600 bucks, you want to have something that's going to last a long time for sure. Richard, nice to have you on board. WA2157SWL from beautiful sunny Albany, New York. Very busy summer. Still a little listening late at night. Cool. JW says, looking forward to my first SSB on and shortwave when radio gets here. Cool. Dave Johnson, nice to have you here. KE8YM in Michigan. John Doe, have you started a GoFundMe for the new Granding? No, well, we'll see. Do I do that? How do I go among, asking a few? Because I got the PayPal also. I don't know. We'll see. It could be here through also the super chat. I mean, the super chat here. You guys can use that to kind of send a couple of bucks. I don't mind paying the bulk of the price. I got no problem with that. But if I could get it, get a couple of $100 to kind of help help in the price tag of the radio, that would definitely kind of help out in getting the radio and reviewing it on the channel for sure. So tu ne parles pas français, Eric. What else do we have? Dimitri, I was found air traffic on my scanner from a small airport so far. Cool. Jim Gordon, you're right about looking on the positive side. Many stations are gone. They have made way for more distant, weaker stations. New DSP radios are great, better than what we went before. Absolutely. I mean, we have, for the price paid today, way better radios than we had for high prices for 30 years ago. I've said it so many times. It's never been so cheap to get into the hobby. Just look at the Texan PL 330. Somebody was telling me this week he got it online for $64 plus $11 shipping. I mean, the Texan PL 330 is it's not a joke. It's not a crappy radio. It's a darn good radio. For the price, it's just amazing. It's a treasure of a little portable. I think if there is one radio to highlight to say this is among the best you can get, the Texan PL 330 is there. The other one would be the XH Data D808. Pretty crazy. I would have loved to have just the Texan PL 330 in 1985 to listen to the radio. Man, that would have been so much better than whatever I had back then. So Erica Charles says, I wonder what the Yaesu FT7100 replaces. Alan says, Eric, it looks like a rival to the ICOM 7300. Shelley, nice to have you here from South Central Pennsylvania. Went to thrift stores today. Not a radio in sight anywhere. Oh, darn it. The thrift stores, you got to go regularly. A friend of mine used to go there every day, and he found great stuff for almost, for just a couple of bucks. So the thrift stores, definitely you got to go there every day. If you go there once in a while, if you're lucky, you'll find something. But going every day is really the thing, because I was almost jealous of all the stuff that you brought back home. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, maybe I should make that effort and go there every day and every morning. John Doe was going for the 501X, but now I'm holding off because the Grundig release, I just want one iHand receiver for shortwave, and I just can't buy a 501 knowing the Grundig is coming soon. Depends on what you want, and how far you want to go for a radio, a high-end radio, definitely. Um, so it's yeah, that especially at these prices, if you have choice of only one, can be checking that. Um, Penguin, nice to have you here. Esteban, nice to have you on board from the Canary Islands. Jeff King from Jacksonville, Florida. We have Penguin just got an AA51X. It's great. One of the best radios out there right now. Madrid DXR has nothing on 12030 monitoring the U20 SDR. Tristan, nice to have you on board. Glad to be back online. Yeah, because here in Canada, we got this really, really big outage of Rogers Communications yesterday. And apparently, there's still a few people not having service and internet right now. I mean, that was crazy. I am on Videotron, so my internet was okay. And cable TV and all of that was not affected for me. But my smartphone didn't work all day yesterday. And if I wanted to have internet on my smartphone, I had to connect to my Wi-Fi in the home here. It was just crazy. And what I find particularly um, annoying is that they're not saying what the problem was. Reggie, IARU contest going on this weekend. A ton of DX. Cool. Dimitri says, I'm trying to go down a little faster, guys, because I'm going to talk about the websites too. Where will be available the Ethon U1 World Band Executive Receiver? On which site I can go buy it? If you go on the Ethon website, I believe they have it available there. And they have it available for like $599. And I would guess they probably ship everywhere, but I don't know. Not sure yet. I know that, what is it? It's Universal that actually had a pre-order, and some people, those that got it at that price is nice. A few of you have the pre-order, and you guys paid $349 for it. That's a good deal. You guys are getting it at a really good deal. But all of us will have to pay much higher prices. David, feeling quite well now. I'd say the top of the curve is near, if I haven't gone through it already. Pretty cool. PNF Radio, I posted a comment on your video about the Ethon Elite Satellite HD. There's also a data sheet. Yep, I'm going to check it out. So we may have HD radio and DAB. Maybe they have two different versions of it. One for Europe, the DAB, and one for North America with HD radio. If it has both inside it, why not? That'd be kind of cool if they have both. I mean, why not? VT Radio, take care. If you're suddenly very tired, take it easy, man. Robert Cross, do you know the CW on Ethon Radio, the Sony ICF 2001D, has that feature on lower sideband? Yeah, well, they say there's a CW mode, so it's supposed to have CW mode. And so I think that's kind of nice. There's a lot of bandwidths also. We'll see. Mr. Radio Robot, nice to have you here from the UK. The visible through complete beginner 18 and go on top of a mountain above village where I get better signal. It's not because you're going higher necessarily they'll get better signals for shortwave radio. But you'll definitely get better signals for another reason: getting away from houses and businesses and getting away from a city. You'll have more quiet conditions, so you'll have a lot more signals there. Jim's Radio Check, prefer good old-fashioned radio over listening to radio online. What else do we have? Million Chip 2, nice to have you here. You mentioned this, the pending release of the new Ethon satellite this week. When it was first proposed, it was $399. Now it's $699. Very expensive. It is expensive. That there's no doubt about it. I think they had no choice. It's going to be a big radio, and there's a lot of features in it. I think they had no choice that to boost the price. There was a compare on the price actually. They compared the original price of the E1 at the time that it was released, and if you take inflation into account, it actually comes up to about $600 today. So technically, it's not more expensive. How should I say this? It's more expensive, yes, but it's not more expensive in terms of with inflation and all the years that went by, basically. But yes, it's a lot of money. Alan, my only gripe with Yaesu is the FT818 should have been a completely different radio, more like the IC705. What else do we have? Alan, surge of COVID cases in the UK too. Yeah, it's everywhere. Here we're they actually officially announced we're in the seventh wave here in Quebec. 1,600 cases, new cases today, and they're not even testing everybody now. I61 says I have the Ethon Elite Executive, loves it. Alan, not being sarcastic, it's quite hot. Yeah, I know that. Think I saw a news item somewhere, Alan, that there's a big chunk of Europe that's about to get another heat wave in the coming days or weeks. So I saw one item about Portugal, I think, hitting like record temperatures. So yeah, that's hot. Dimitri, when you get your new E1 executive receiver, can you review all the features on the receiver? I like big display, triple conversion. Yeah, I will definitely. I will definitely. It's a double conversion, by the way, not a triple conversion. It's a double conversion receiver, which is still okay. It's still okay, but compare it just to give you an idea. The Texan H501X is a triple conversion, half the price. Kind of interesting. Probably they probably had to make some decisions on how they're going to do the radio and not have it. Probably they do real. I mean, Ethon realize, I'm sure, that the price of that radio is very high. I don't think they, I mean, they're in the radio business for a long time. They know the price is high, and they still release it. That means that they are, they. I think they know that they're probably going to sell some. Jim Gordon from Scotland, nice to have you on board. Also recovering from COVID. I'm so grateful that I did not get the earlier version. This channel remains an inspiration, and so does shortwave broadcasting, with or without Turkey. Artist artist out of Crafter's Kitchen. Jill, what do you think of the Ethon has all those features yet only dual conversion at the price? Look, I have a lot of dual conversion radios that are pretty good. It doesn't mean that because it's dual conversion that it's necessarily bad. It's not single conversion, at least. And if they chose the IF properly, there's not going to be images in there. So I think it still could be okay. There's I over the years I looked at all the radios that I have that are double or triple conversion. And I can't say we see a huge difference between single conversion and double conversion. That is a must, because you understand that images are gone, and the radio is definitely a much better device. From double to triple conversion, I can't say you see necessarily that much of an improvement. We talk about how radios are sometimes kind of really have we really have gimmicks. Every manufacturer has a gimmick. When ETM scan came out, it was like, okay, what's that gimmick? They're trying to sell radios based on some new thing that maybe is useless or whatever. An example, the Sangean ATS 909X2, the automatic variable bandwidth thing. What a load of crap that is. And they focus on that and kind of sell you that thing as being the next major thing. I turned it off and I don't ever want to have to turn it on again. It is the worst piece of crap feature I've ever seen on a radio. They could have spent that money in something else in it, like improving the image rejection for FM radio. Um, so sometimes I think we have to be careful not to fall for well, it is the greatest radio in the world because I'm at triple conversion, and I'm surprised somebody didn't come out with a radio. It's like I'm a quadruple conversion. It's like, yeah, okay, whoa, okay. There's definitely sell points, and they're trying to push us into buying a specific radio with wording that it's like computers. It's like computers. It's like trying to buy a computer. Go out and look at the list of all the details they give you, and it's like, yeah, but that processor is 3 gigahertz, so that must be better than the 2.5. No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. They're just throwing numbers at you and throwing words, trying to convince you that I'm better than you. And it doesn't mean that because it's dual conversion that it's necessarily less than a triple conversion radio. A good radio, well made dual conversion, probably is as good as any triple conversion receiver. I've never noticed or never really seen that a triple conversion receiver was necessarily better in many ways over the years. So yeah, you want to have conversions, but it's a dual or triple conversion for me. It's not a selling point for me. If you have two radios in front of me and they have features, that's a double, that's a dual, and that's a triple conversion. That will not be a selling point for me. There's going to be something else that's going to be a selling point for me. Maybe the amount of features you can give me with that. Um, Maybe the bandwidth, the amount of coverage that it does, and so on. Things like that. Hey guys, I promised my friend that I take care of that I would go and do a little something. I will be back in about 3 or 4 minutes because it's time for medication. So sorry, guys. Part of my caregiver duties right now. So I'm going to leave you guys with the soothing sounds of a station that is called CHU. So probably a little later. I think he's sleeping. I knocked on the door, and there's no answer. So I'm gonna let him sleep. Okay. Let's continue here. Okay, we have RGD Dakota, just like old Curtis Matthews TV. Those were super expensive and had a lot of parts in it. The more expensive, the more they went wrong with it. Richard, I'm going to put my Tram 1411 higher on the roof. Should I buy a 50 feet coax or add another 25 feet to the antenna? Is there a loss using two 25 feet cables? The loss is minor, but the loss is at any time you have to add a connection between two cables, there's a loss on that connect part, but it's minimal. And depending on the frequencies you are tuning, it shouldn't show much. The on the Tram 1411, you're on a VHF UHF, and VHF UHF, it's really the UHF, high frequency UHF, where the loss is much more than the lower frequencies. Richard Wagner, how much would PL 330 cost back then with those features? Oh man, that would have been a $500, $600 radio. Would have been a huge radio, first of all, because that little chip that is a radio would have been all parts on a board. Now it would have been a big radio, and that would have been at least 5, 6, 7 seconds. Seconds. I see seconds. It's $500 or $600 probably back in the 80s to have such, and it would not even have been as precise. It would have drift. It would have been drifting. It would have been, oh man, I can't imagine. They would have had a hard time actually recreating the stability of the PL330 back then. RJDA Dakota said it before and again. I would love to take my PL330 or D808. That's where we could have seen flaws in these radios also. Because remember back then, how many stations were so powerful and all jam packed? Maybe we would not have been as impressed with a PL330 in 1985. Maybe against the shortwave of that time, it maybe would have had a problem to cope with all the signals. We don't know. We can't do and recreate it. Well, we can recreate it with signal generators and stuff like that, but you know, but I think they would have been pretty good. Mike WX50, thanks for the donation for the new Ethon radio. Definitely going to be in there. And so looks like I'm going to get one. So I'm going to have to check. You're going to have to check the where I'm going to purchase it. PLF radio, PL330, the XH data CU on D808, and Digitech AR1780 are great. Keegan DXer got my Zenith Transoceanic R7000 1981 in November 2011 from a thrift store. Cool. Thank you, Gabrielle, for the donation. Much appreciated. You're going to bring more cows next week. I wish I would have a place to go and you could I could go into some field somewhere. It's like, hey, Gabrielle, here are the Canadian cows, the Canadian cousins. The Rorax, nice to have you on board. ATS-20 encoder died now, has a Trexton and has a Texan 330 radio. Awesome. Yeah, the ATS, that is the main complaint of the ADS. The ATS 20 and the 25 that I got. The number one complaint I see from everybody is the encoder. So it seems that maybe they didn't take the best quality encoder. Zen Farrells, nice to have you here. And following with the R8 and a glass of Antinori Il Bruciato 2018. Cool. Cool. What else do we have? Let me just go back up. I lost my spot here. I lost my spot. There we go. Tostanov, nice to have you on board from Alabama. Big thunderstorm moving in. So that means no outdoor antennas right now. So what else do we have? 0-100. I would love to have all original Collins RM390 and 90-pound shortwave listening beast. That's not very portable. Melon Chip. Another thing about the Ethon Elite satellite is that it has on 9 kHz filter for AM. Best is 6. Sony's 90s shortwave radios in the 90s did the same. You need 9 kHz for general listening, bottom line. Yeah, they don't have the 9 kilohertz for like the biggest fidelity of audio. Not a lot of radios do, but yeah. What else do we have? Francis Moore, my ELAD FDM duo and matching speaker arriving Monday. Can't wait. Cool. And let us know how it goes and how what you think. Definitely something great. MDK2, depending on the signal, it can get better reception if you go up high. I can get WWV better when I go to a park that's actually further south from the transmitter side, but is up a few hundred feet from my QTH. Something different for radio. Nice to have you on board, XYQ1620. Yeah, you're in the skip zone for WWV, absolutely. And at 2.5, you probably have the ground zone, the ground wave. What else do we have? Just gonna try to catch up a little bit. Yeah, Alan, yeah, you know, I hate hot weather except when I'm at the beach. Gabriel. Oh man. Eric Cottrell, my friend Brent on PEI just posted about a 6-meter opening to Europe on FT8 right now. Wow, pretty cool. What else do we have? Yeah, at one time dual conversion and that was pretty much the only thing you would get back then. That was the thing. It was that was the a dual conversion receiver was great. Yep, PL880, PL990, H501X are all triple conversions. Pretty much every other radio is double conversion, dual conversion. Like the PL330, it's a dual conversion radio. RJ Dakota, auto bandwidths get on my nerves. Oh man, that thing is like, you turn it off and you know that you're never going to take that switch and put it back on. And you're thinking, well, that switch could have been used for something else. And that auto bandwidth could have been gone and you could have put bandwidths in single sideband. St. Jean, I hope you're listening, because that I still can't understand why. You got bandwidths on AM, one bandwidth on SSB. Really? Do you really know how to build a shortwave radio today? Just saying. Yeah, like Eric says, triple conversion for VHF and above, definitely, because you need that for avoiding the images that the higher frequencies can give you. Absolutely. In VHF and above radio, it's something that most, even scanner radios, a lot of scanner radios were triple conversion because the good scanner radios to avoid the images. But for shortwave, dual conversion is fine. You know, maybe they have why it could be triple conversion, maybe because of the VHF airband. Maybe that's why they would have a triple conversion in it. That would be an idea. RGD could have something like auto bandwidth is a hidden feature in the PL880, and thank God it's hidden. Jet Crafter, what is this signal on 5998? Supposed to be Moira, but getting strange sounds in main. Actually, if you're getting tones, 5598, these are cell call. So when you're listening to planes on these frequencies, what you will get is also a set of tones. And those tones are cell call, selective calling. So when a plane has its HF radio, what happens with the HF radio is that they don't want to have the static all the time. So you don't keep the radio on all the time. So the radio has a code set. So they set the code with cell call so that when the airport wants to actually contact the plane, they just send that set of tones that unlocks the squelch of the radio for the communications. So every air traffic control frequency you'll listen to, you'll be able to hear these tones because that's the way they can unlock the radios. Richard Wagner, whole transistor radio scam from Japan, 10 transistors, 4 are used as diodes. Yeah, that's that's a way of doing it. Miki Dalmage, nice to have you here from Sherwood Park. Nice to have you here. Kevin, nice to have you on board. W1AW is on 7184 lower sideband, booming into New Jersey. So pretty cool. Let's check it out. 7184, 7.184. Am I getting it here? Lower sideband. Definitely something there. One more something on 7185. What do I have here? Yep, W1AW Portable 3. Here, we're going to let you guys listen to it. 7185. Lower sideband. And here we go. And the console is way too far. So W1AW is the official station of the ARRL in Newington, Connecticut. So, cool to hear them on the air. Eric, I think I have a radio that is quad conversion, but it is due to a converter being used for the highest range of the radio. Maybe it goes at a very, very high frequency. Maybe that could be the case. David, actually adding conversion stages can be counterproductive as the noise floor on the radio can be increased simply out of the longer signal path, extra local oscillators, and frequency conversions. So yeah, it is. We got to be careful with these wordings. And by the way, here I got it on 7185 lower sideband, just a little like 7184.9 or something. It's just a little below 7185. St. Pharaohs, until digital, triple really was an easier and more expensive way to make high quality receivers. Now that digital bandwidth is high enough, dual can be as good as triple. What else do we have? Let's go here. Yep, 501X, but I'm pretty sure it would have been a double conversion and it would have been okay. I don't think there would have been much of a difference. honestly. I think, I'm wondering about one thing about the triple conversion in the 501X. You know what? The dual conversions that use the DSP chip all have the muting because they are directly using the DSP chip stages. And you know what? I've been wondering, um, could they have added the triple conversion to add the PLL layer so that the radio reacts like a standard radio, no chuffing or muting when you tune around and so on. I'm wondering if it's not a triple conversion so that one of the conversions has the layer of the DSP chip with the features in it. And could that be? Could that be a possibility? Any electronic geeks out there? How about my idea that they've used, because it has the DSP chip in it, but it doesn't mute and it acts like a standard PLL driven radio. Is it possible that they have a dual conversion using the chip and the DSP features that they wanted? They added the triple conversion that it actually is going to be PLL driven and act more like a standard portable receiver with PLL and no chuffing, no muting. Could that be a reason? If anyone can answer, because I believe the Sangean ATS 909X2 is a triple conversion too. It also has a DSP chip. It also does not mute. So that's the idea that I have behind why they might have made a triple conversion. They did it to avoid the negative side of that chip being used. That's interesting, eh? I maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know. I had that thought when I got a radio and I saw triple conversion, and I noticed that all the radios that are using the DSP chip as a layer, but that don't mute, are all the triple conversion ones, like the Sangean ATS 909X2. So that could be a reason. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, what else do we have? Jim's radio check. Shortwave reception poor this afternoon. What else do we have here? Nice to have you here from Austin, Texas. Right next door to hell. 102 Fahrenheit. Youch. Mike WX50. I put an MLA30 antenna in my backyard finally. So much better listening than the high noise signal I was getting from my temporary inside antenna. Oh yeah, definitely. There must have been a definite um, difference from inside. Blog or die. Never have a copyright hit from rebroadcasting CHU. You know what? The worst part, if you go to the CHU website and documentation, it is forbidden to rebroadcast the CHU time signal, apparently. So I'm like, what? It's some form of copyright, I guess. Or JDA Dakota, back then they might have had a problem with overload, but it's all relative. But then again, pretty much all the expensive portables at the time were having a hard time with overload anyway. Skipwave DX, the PL330 is dual conversion. Definitely. All of these portables are dual conversion. If they weren't, you would have been getting some images. Harold Anderson, nice to have you here from Oslo, Norway, and LB1NH. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to have you on board. Tin can telephone. I made a W3 EDP antenna, waiting for dark. So far, it seems promising. And he hooked it up to your RSP Duo SDR. Cool, cool. Let us know it's how it performs. It's kind of always interesting to see the experimentation and things you can build yourself too. Jim from Rhode Island, nice to have you here. Yeah, well, on SDRs you have pretty much as wide as you want, basically. Cool. Thank you, PLF Radio. Merci beaucoup. I'm going to take a look at that, and we're going to share some websites, definitely, and take a look. And I'll be taking a look if you send me the kind of the list there. Definitely going to make videos talking about them also. Thank you so much. Tin Can Telephone had D4K contesting from Cape Verde. Wow, pretty cool. Francis Moore, thank you so much for the donation. I guess now I'm going to have to buy a Ethon Elite HD radio satellite radio. WWV, almost exactly 75 miles directly north of my house. So it's beyond ground wave. I'd get all the signals on each frequency. Great if you were within range. René Charbonnier, nice to have you here from the Netherlands. Thank you. Merci, Vince. Nice to, I'm going to be checking that website. We're going to take a look at the websites in a few moments. The name is double, triple conversion. So radios the conversions are layers, basically. And each layer has a different intermediate frequency. So what happens in a radio is that the basic principle of a radio is the single conversion. And that is the basic principle. The problem with a single conversion receiver is that most of them even today are made with a 455 kilohertz intermediate frequency oscillator in it. What that means, you might have noticed that the cheapest radios that are all single conversion have images. You'll get a station 910 kilohertz higher because you'll get the image from the IF conversion. So to fix that and many other things, they added a layer, a dual conversion. The dual conversion now gives a intermediate frequency that is higher, and it's higher than what the radio actually receives if you have an image. So it still creates an image, possibly, but the image is outside the range of the radio's reception. So you'll never hear the image. But that said, some dual conversion radios, if you use a scanner radio, position it really close, you might sometimes, for example, if you're tuning, I don't know, you might be tuning WWV 20 megahertz and the intermediate frequency being much higher. If you take the image that it could create, it would get into VHF range and your scanner radio might be receiving it. I've had that happen, and I don't remember with what radio. I would need to find the radio and redo that experiment just to show you guys. So one of the reasons of the dual conversion is to eliminate for good any images on a receiver. So automatically it made that receiver a much higher quality radio because no more images, no more trying to find the truth from the bad. And then, and we mentioned that, so there are radios with triple conversion. There are a few shortwave triple conversion receivers. As Eric has mentioned, most triple conversion receivers are in the radios that have a very, very big frequency coverage that goes high into the UHF range. kind of follows the same rule a little bit of trying to avoid as much as possible images on on the high frequencies, but it adds other features. A Each layer of these conversions can be tapped in to add other features. So you can use the intermediate frequency of the third conversion to add something, and use the second IF to add something else by injecting stuff like that. I'm just going to post official shortwave radio at gmail.com. If you have a link to a website or anything, just send it there. So, what? Nope, pas de problème, Vince. Okay. Zen for arrows, my R8 is dual conversion. My FRG7 is triple. FRG7 comes from when triple was really needed, but the R8 came a little later, and when they had good enough filters to make dual equal quality. Yeah, I'm sure your R8, actually, R8 is superior to the FRG7 for sure. And dual conversion is fine. My Kenwood R5000, was just gonna signal this here. Sorry, guys, just gonna make sure that I signal the bad stuff. It makes them, it alerts Google to delete their accounts of their bots. Okay, so yeah, for the most part, today's dual conversion are great. Ricardo, nice to have you on board from Portugal. Nice to have you here. Misanthrope, what's the best radio for CB and police reception? Well, it depends where you live, and it depends if your CB radio, if your police is unencrypted and listenable. That's the first thing you should actually know. Keegan DXer, what about Triple H conversion for fighting unwanted noise interference? That's a good question. That's something I'm not much into the info. I need to brush up on my my radio electronics reading. Zen Pharaoh's newer triple conversion designs are probably about the low cost of complexity when you can get a lot of circuitry in integrated circuits. Yeah, definitely. Kamikaze 76, nice to have you here from West Michigan. What else do we have? Johnny Sorrentino, nice to have you on board. Jeff King should be nominated moderator. Agreed? Yeah, why not? Why not? He's been around for a long time. Dimitri, this receiver will include XM satellite capability? Nope. The original E1, had the XM satellite capability. There was an option for it, which is not the case for this one now at all. Francis Mooresworth, every penny as well as revive my interest in shortwave radio. I enjoy and look forward to the broadcast and meeting up with fellow radio nuts. Cool. Zen Pharaohs copies W1AW 7185 lower sideband. Matt, I was out of town on Canada Day. Did you work any of the special event, or is that a contest? It's a contest on that day. So I didn't really enter the contest, and I had so much going on that I actually forgot about the Canada Day contest. Didn't even listen to it. And I remembered like the late in the day. Yeah, radio that go up to 3 gigahertz. So yeah, that's why maybe they have the extra conversions there. Um, Alright, control, listen to 6 meters and can hear FT8, no SSB or CW. Aerial Imaging, thank you so much for the donation. Absolutely. Vince, 7184.9, good in De Montagne, cool. PLF radio, I was looking at the widest frequency range analog radio, and it seems to be the Texan R9700DX during my research. Found that the Ovisio TAR 605. Okay, kind of interesting. Jetcrafter hearing Gander radio working aircraft 8891. Zenfaros, your idea that they did triple to work around the way the dual was set up on the chip is plausible. That's the idea I got of why they might have gone there, to avoid being stuck with our higher end radio that has to mute when you tune. I mean, a muting H501 or PL990 for the price they were sold would have been a big down for me. I think it would have been like, no, at this price you can't mute when you tune. Sorry. I'll accept it on a Texan PL330. I can't accept it on a, you know, $200, $300 radio. David, I could see it as a marketing trick. A radio that only has 2 analog conversion stages, but is sold as triple conversion to make it seem better, like if the DSP was a third stage. Harvey, nice to have you on board. Says nice looking setup. Thank you very much. Let's see what I just saw. Eric. I need to try to find where I was. Okay. I lost my spot. Here we go. The DSP chip could be used for a low IF, like 60 kilohertz. The triple conversions could be 10.7, 455, and 60 kilohertz. Okay. Interesting. Now, the DSP itself is just a radio chip, but it could be integrated into one of the layers of the conversion stages. You know, I don't know. Kind of interesting. One thing for sure, it doesn't mute, and it does have the DSP chip, so they did something to make sure that it that it. What else do we have? John Beckett, nice to have you here from Northeast Florida. Memory DXer, triple conversion, maybe, so as to set it apart from cheaper DSP radios. That's soft mute. Maybe. I don't know. There's other Crafters Kitchens wants 4K videos. I could do I do most of my radio videos with my Galaxy S20 phone, which does superb 4K. It's the only reason I didn't put the videos in 4K is because they take so much space and take so much time to upload that I thought, 1080 is enough. But you know what? I did a couple that I posted on the channel, and I immediately got some comments of people saying, "Oh, cool, you're in 4K now," which makes me think, yeah, maybe I should go to 4K on the videos now. I mean, I got the equipment. Why not use it and use it for 4K? I mean, if people want 4K, 4K Texan PL 330. Look, you know. Um, mm, 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 mm. Paradise Speed. So this would be true with an ICAR 8600. Yeah, this is a DS. This is an SDR. The ICOM R8600 is a software defined receiver. So there's a little bit of differences. John Beckett, for information, the volume control knobs wheels of the Prentice J401 are subject to breaking off. So yeah. Bowman's, nice to have you here. Yeah. Yeah, I got a tripod. That would be good. I got I actually have a tripod that's made specifically for phones, and I put my Sam. It's it you can put any phone on it. I put my Samsung Galaxy phone on the tripod when I try. Sometimes when you see it moves a little more, it's because I'm holding it, but most of the time I um, try to use a tripod to make it a lot more stable. I get the drift. I mean, when I look at on the big screen TV, when I look at video of somebody that just moves all the time, I mean, wow, it's like at some point it's almost dizzying. You almost want to puke. That's for sure that the RTL SDR V3, let's put it that is are the V3 version that adds the shortwave for the price is tough to beat, definitely. Sergeant Rock, nice to have you here. Great show. Thanks for hurricane frequency in the July World Utilities. 14340 USB, great for Hawaii. Cool. And I mean, that was the idea. It's getting ideas on doing a column every month. At some point, it's kind of tough. But now I saw something about hurricanes and thought, oh, let's visit the hurricane frequencies and everything that you can try for. And Sheldon gave me a couple of ideas for the next two columns, so it's going to be nice. Harvey really would like to get into shortwave, but it isn't like the golden age, and not sure if it's worth it nowadays. Depends what you're looking for. This only you can answer, and it depends on what will make you be happy on shortwave. It's definitely worth it, and I think all of us agree it's definitely still worth it today if you like to try all sorts of stuff and hear signals from everywhere. Is it worth it today if you're specific on only one thing? Depends on what, and that you're going to answer that question. Anesh Manar Ramkinson, nice to have you on board from Trinidad in the Caribbean. Always nice to have you here, my friend. So here. Sir Maximus Hardwood, nice to have you here. Artist Alley Crafter's Kitchen have several single conversion bolt anchor radios and love them. And ICOM RCA 71A that is triple or quad conversion. But if I was paying over 600 for a radio today, would want at least triple. It's definitely an expensive radio and depends, how it performs. Dr. Sisop, nice to have you on board. One thing for sure is if you're a ham radio operator, if you're going to pay 700 for an Ethon portable, you better dish out the few $100s more that is missing and get a transceiver. And that is not even a question. But at that price, definitely expensive. Thank you, Blogger Die, for the donation. I guess it's official. I'm getting an I'm getting a new Ethon receiver. And I promise I will be doing a lot of videos showing all of its features and all of its performances. And of course, we'll compare it to like a Texan PL330 and stuff like that. King the Xer, I'll stick with the Ethon Grande Edition Field, Satellite, Ethon Elite Field, and Elite Executive radios. They're great radios, man. PLF Radio, do you think the Ethon Elite Satellite HD has a rubberized cabinet which gets sticky with time? I really hope they didn't do that. I think the original does, because I think I saw a comment somewhere about someone going crazy over the gooiness of his radio now. I hope they did not. Now, I know how to fix that problem today. And if you have anybody that has a radio that has that rubberized, gooey finish, over time it becomes disgusting. Just get, go to the pharmacy and get 70% alcohol and rubbing alcohol, and just clean your radio with that and a cloth, and you'll remove the rubberized finish, and you won't remove the inscriptions or anything. Everything that's written on the radio is going to stay there, but you'll just be removing the disgusting finish after a couple of times. What is Crafter's Kitchen? That's what keeps me from trying to uploading my videos in 4K. Time and space. Yep. King and the Xer, Ethan should design an HD radio like the Field, Satellite, and Executive radios were designed. You know what? I think one of the things I think about the one of the things I think about the Ethon receiver that's coming out is that they probably wanted to have a radio in a very good price point, but they got stuck with all the delays and realized that if they want to make money with a radio, they just can't sell it below that price point and it's now really expensive. JW, there are tons of frequencies for Hurricane. There's the Hurricane WatchNet, which is the first one, and there's all the frequencies that go with FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management. There's tons of things on shortwave. Get a DJI Osmo Mobile 3 gimbal. What's that? I mean, just like at the example, we were talking about transceivers. Radio World in Toronto had the ICOM IC7300 on sale for $1,399 Canadian. $1,400 Canadian. You know what? If that radio, that Ethon, comes to 1,000, imagine how close it is in price to just getting a whole transceiver that's just amazing with a barely $500 difference. It's really something you got to think about when you think about it, Charles Williams liked the RSPDX, but it took a long time to learn how to make it work well. There is a learning curve on pretty much all the SDRs, and that's the thing. And using the software, knowing how to use it well, how to set up the audio and the different things correctly, definitely. So a drone attachment for keeping a camera stable. Oh, okay. That could be what he wanted. Paul Muffet says, yep, still worth it to get on shortwave today. Bowman's, don't use Sony Earth Orbiter, which with power cable. So Keegan DXer has a Sony CFD 510 CD radio cassette recorder from 94. My dad, W9JEF, gave me in December 2020. Cool. Cool. So, okay, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about websites. But you know what? I am out of fuel. So it's better to have fuel in order to continue. So I'm going to go and refill. And we're going to be back in a couple of minutes. And also, I'll be checking out on if everything's all right. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to leave you with the soothing sounds of somebody talking on 71, 73, I guess. So you're going to hear some hams. So nice to hear you. It's so nice to hear you. You always have a very resounding signal and I recognize the voice there, Vito. Over. Yeah, well, I'm not even running the amp, Armando. And guess what? I'm running a 7610 now, so I still have the 7300. I will not sell it, but I did move on to the 7610. However, the only reason why I did so, because the 7300 was good enough for me, is a friend of mine gave me a great deal on the 7610, and I kind of ate it up because the networking portion of it is phenomenal. So I can connect right to the network and configure the local station without having to on CA1 on the local side. Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. You know, my son, again, this radio that you helped me configure about a year ago, it's his radio, and he finally was able to buy a house. He has not moved into it, but once he does, I told him this is his radio. So I'm considering I don't know if I should buy another 7300 for myself or maybe the 7610. I don't know. I mean, it's like 3 times the price. I could afford it because, I really get the value out of it. But it definitely has some beautiful features, not only what you mentioned, but also, the dual receivers, and it's got to have a much better receiver overall anyway. But you'll tell me. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I kind of agree with you. I ended up getting the 76 it's about 2 years old. I ended up getting it for a little, by let's see, taxes in here in Canada, probably a little less, or very close to twice the price of the 7300. So for twice the price of the 7300, it was a no-brainer, but I would have to pay. A friend of mine in Cleveland was going to bring me one back from Cleveland. It was going to cost me 4,500 Canadian. So that would have been at least 320. Yeah. And that's the thing. And I'm not sure that. So we are back. Okay. Just going to check out quickly the chat, and we're going to check out links and websites now. Just quickly here. Steamed hams. Oh, man. Gabriel, sort of off topic. There's a new transmission on 11540 from 12 to 13 UT, not listed anywhere, even EIBI space. Signal is good, but language is not identifiable. Okay, 12 to 13 UT. It's going to be interesting to check out. And I have not received any I've not received any news on that. Let me check that out. Let me check it out here. So you say it's on 540. 12 to 13. What could that be? So, okay, not on EIBI space. You check the latest update from this week, just out of curiosity. 640. Does it sound Asian language like? Because there is an inscription here from 12 to 13, China Radio International, in Vietnamese. Could that be it? I think that would be a possibility. In the latest list here, EIBI space 11640, 12 to 13, China Radio from the Chinese transmitter site. So it's direct from China in Vietnamese. Could that sound a possibility, Gabriel? Okay. JW getting some Kentucky mash fuel. Harvey, miss the days of Radio Moscow, Radio Netherlands, Deutsche Welle, Swiss Radio International. Yeah, those were days. There was some great broadcasts back then. Looking to get a 1970 shortwave receiver like what exposed me to the hobby years ago. Take care, Alan. Oh, no problem. I will be happy to do a special. Let's go back to QSL cards from the past collection. You know what? For the last show next week, how about we talk QSLs and go into some of the QSL cards and the stories that go with them? Would you guys like that for next Saturday before I take my vacation? It could be a good idea, I think. Madrid DXer, I wanted the original Ethon E1 some years ago. Now I think I will pass as I have good, easy to carry portables like the D808 PL330, which I get best results outdoors due to the indoor noise. Definitely. And you know, that's where I'm afraid Ethon might be missing the boat. Big, huge, portable, very expensive. And how many they're gonna sell? I don't know. Oh, it stabilizes your mobile phone while moving around. Yeah. Well, I put the tripod, so I bought a tripod for that. But yeah, okay, I guess I get what you want. you're talking about those. It's like for the cameras. They actually kind of, if you move, if you shake or anything, it kind of, interacts to like neutralize the movement. Yeah. Okay. Jeff King, concerning the rubberized finish, no one does it anymore, not even on cars. Yeah. That thing is disgusting. It when it's brand new, it's kind of, oh, look at that. But dang, I tell you, just radio check. The Kato 500 has a problem with the rubber. Yeah, many radios had it. Yeah, Radio Vanna Cuba is still on. Absolutely. You can still listen, RV, to there's Radio Romania, Radio Prague, Radio Slovakia, Voice of Turkey. You can listen to, there's a relays for WRI, for Radio Mongolia, Voice of Mongolia, Radio Vanna Cuba, of course. You can listen to the Voice of America from, it's weaker signals, but so you have the Voice of America, the BBC World Service can be heard. There are several times that it's easy to catch. There's still some stuff. Radio New Zealand coming in really well this summer. There's still some stuff out there to listen to, honestly. Frazio, are you talking about radio-related websites? But we can talk about radio-related smartphones applications too. Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, it's part of all the listening experience. It could be. Well, you can still listen to the BBC today, Harvey. It's just that it's not targeted towards North America anymore. So you have to listen to the African service and services that still come in well. At 04 UTC, which is midnight Eastern here, 9915 kilohertz. Comes in so well from Madagascar relay. Danielle Marc LeBlanc, lots of ham traffic last night. Was surprised how many conversations I was able to get. 10 different conversations from 9:53 to 11:30 p.m. C135 to 7290. Artists Out of Crafters Kitchen loves the QSL shows. So you know what? We're going to do that next Saturday for the last show before the vacation. We're going to do QSL, and we'll add the dimensions, QSL and audio clips. Let's mix them together. I'll show the QSLs, give stories, get audio clips that we're going to play from the different stations that I'm showing. So I think it's going to be a fun show. Well, we're going to try to make it extra long for that special show next week. I got a pretty big collection. My collection's small compared to so many others, but I got a nice collection here. And you guys are going to make me actually do what I've been avoiding for a few weeks. I'll have to actually go through the QSLs and actually put them in good order and everything. So that's going to be the second positive thing about this. TV Ostrowski's all for the QSL show. Cool. So that's where we're going next week, next Saturday. And we're going to have fun. Be prepared to cry on your radio. Nostalgia is going to kick in. Take care, my friend Adesh Manar Renkimsun. Stay safe. Really, Gabriel, you've got videos on your channel. Daniel Marc Lemont, do you have a lot of CB activity where you are? And for a portable, you mean like in your car or truck or whatever? Or really portable? Carlos, can you interview someone from Radio Canada International's Ukrainian service? Oh, wow, that would be kind of interesting. It's something I never thought of, contacting I never thought of that. Contacting the radio stations and asking if I could have some Zoom meeting or something that could be done as a, kind of interview somebody from a radio field from, like, Ask Radio Romania. Michael, you're not going to want to carry a big radio around. Yeah. Bringing the big Ethon to Perry Island, which I will probably do anyways, but still. Um well, BBC is still pretty good, Harvey. JW, cool. My first shortwave radio arrives Monday, so I'll have it in hand for next week's stream. Cool. Donald Mark LeBlanc noticed the IBI's list was updated. Do you know what the update interval of the lists are? Once, twice, or three times a year? EIBI space is updated when probably the person behind it has time. It's updated quite frequently. It's not 2 or 3 updates a year. I'd say 2 or 3 updates a month on the IBI, because shortwave frequencies change a lot on certain broadcasters. There's often new things that pop up that weren't there before. So there's place for an update every couple of weeks, definitely. So it updates 2 to 3 times a month. It'll depend on 2 things probably. It'll depend on how many changes there is to add there, and it'll depend also on how many of the and all the time. I mean, don't forget, guys, that the people behind the websites like EIBI Space, they do it because they want to do it, but it's hard work to keep up a shortwave list, and especially when that dreaded time arrives every time that we change the frequencies for winter or for summer. Man, we gotta never forget that these guys are great to keep us and all for free, and they're asking for donations. I should send a donation into EIBI Space. But EIBI Space is often at, I'd say most of the time, at least 2 times a month, maybe 3 sometimes, depending on what's out there and the time that he has. Danielle, would I invest in a CB radio today? I'm not sure. It'll depend on It depends on how many people are around you, but I would more depend on, I would buy a CB radio if a friend of mine says I'm getting a CB radio too, because at least I know I'll have someone to talk to. Um, I got the 980 SSB from Uniden, the Uniden Bearcat 980 SSB. I love it. It's a great little mobile rig. But CB radio isn't what it used to be. That's for sure. Yep. Like in the 80s, the blasters. I know, absolutely. Daniel Mark LeBlanc, I would sure like you to do a show on the history of shortwave. You would do a brilliant job. That when I'm going to be taking my little month off, once again, there are more people watching, and some of you might have missed it. Next Saturday is the last show before I take 4 weeks off of the live shows. We're going to be doing the live show next Saturday, the 16th of July. And then I'm going to be only coming back on August 17th. Okay. August 17th, which is a Wednesday. So put down on your calendar that for 4 weeks I'm not going to be here. But you know what? You're giving me an idea here. Is that in that 4 weeks I might have a little more time on my hand to do stuff. Maybe slowly building a show about kind of the history of shortwave could be interesting. So I'm gonna keep that in mind definitely. Uh, what else do we have here? So we're gonna start talking about websites in a few seconds. Yeah, shortwave schedules on Android is pretty good. It's pretty good program for the schedules on any Android devices. And there's also a shortwave schedule app for iOS for iPhones, iPads. From I think it's from Black Cat Systems. Brian Penny, nice to have you on board from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. JW decided on an Ethon Elite Executive for SSB and other features. I have a C-Crane Solar Observer Emergency and NOAA band radio. Great radios. What was the station from the Caribbean that was from two small islands by Venezuela? The guy talked with a velvet voice. There was Transworld Radio that transmitted from Bonaire in the Netherlands Antilles. And don't forget also that there were quite a few stations relayed, like Radio Netherlands was relayed from Bonaire. BBC was relayed from Antigua at some point. WF7I Homebrew, nice to have you here, Bert, from rural Virginia. Cooking some chili and loaf. Yeah. CB Radio, yeah. Yeah, you can say it was the original social media. Dave, what antenna are you running the 980 SSB? I've got two actually. I've got a little mobile vertical on the back shed, but I mostly use it on a Tram 1411 disc cone, which is also meant to be used with CB radio. It has two radials to tune it. So these are the two antennas that I have. Solitary radio listener, nice to have you here. Vince, thanks for the donation. By the way, I saw it arrive by email. Vince, what would you suggest me for a desktop scanner? My Whistler sounds like having problems to decode fire department. The signal is very good, but it cuts all the time. It might be suffering from some overload of some sort, maybe. Look, I don't know. The few reviews I've seen from most of the scanner radios that actually have the digital decodes of the different services, almost all of the reviews of all of them are not great. And it has to do a lot with the performance of the receivers, especially if you live in an area with strong signals around you. So I don't know. I would try to deal with the Whistler and see how you can improve it somehow. I don't know. Maybe try to have maybe try to desensitize it. I don't know if it has an RF gain on it or something. Maybe that might help actually in getting a stronger decode of these signals. But yeah, I know. And they're expensive radios, so when they don't work well, we're kind of a little pissed off. Yeah, it's like in the wintertime listening to HCJB in Quito, Ecuador, with a snowstorm next to your outdoor of your window. Sounded exotic, especially when they played that Ecuadorian music. Jim Withy from Ireland, EI3HCB. Nice to have you here. No Discord here. Got a Facebook group, but I do not have a Discord channel. Daniel Mark LaBelle, sometimes I find a channel on the IBI that doesn't correspond with the times indicated, sometimes a few hours later or earlier. Is this comment or is it me? Actually, what that means simply is it could be that it could be that a just do this here quickly and this quickly. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, but I gotta signal all the shit that happens on the channel from time to time. Here we go. That's simply because it can happen. It can happen that a broadcast is so new that it's still not listed. So that means that you look at the times and you're like, okay. But be careful in reading the schedule correctly, because sometimes it could be that the signal, the time frame for the station is so huge that we don't necessarily sometimes see that. Oh no, okay. It must be that because it's from 22 UTC to 06 UTC, and I'm at 04 UTC. So that yeah, okay, that should be that. Because EIBI space is pretty good. It's not 100%. There's absolutely no 100% schedule site. That definitely. But yeah, it can happen. I mean, shortwave broadcasts pop up here and there all the time, so it's not impossible you could hear something. The other thing I would say to be very careful is making sure that it making sure that it is the frequency you're tuning. Sometimes if you put filters too wide, and it happens regularly, I see people reporting a station and that station is actually 5 kilohertz off because the filter is so wide that they're listening to, say, 11550, but it's 11555. Because the filter is so wide, you don't see that the station is actually not on the frequency you're listening to. So you got to be careful with that. But like I said, it's normal that there are every time there's an update of the schedule, there's already some stations that might be on the air on the frequency that is just not listed. Plus, you've got to add the fact that there's all sorts of transmissions that will not be in the list like that. For like a pirate, if you hear a pirate station, it won't be listed in the IBI because pirates just appear and disappear magically here and there. So I'd say the EIBI schedules are probably accurate to 85, 85, 90%, but there is definitely missing frequencies. It's normal. It's totally normal. But there's not a lot of there's not a lot of it missing. When I go and I look at these frequencies, it happens most of the time. Yeah, Vince, that's what I would do. You know what? I think what's happening with the radio, maybe you got something overloading it a little bit, and the signal is giving a hard time to your scanner. Play with the RF gain a little bit. Try to find a setting that's going to help you out. And don't forget, I think the Whistler scanners, you can update the firmware from the internet. Make sure you have the latest firmware. Sometimes it corrects bugs that might cause problems like that for your scanner radio. Michael, nice to have you here. Chicago Mike in the house. Pretty cool. VT Radio. Unconscious for an hour. Hope you're better now. Yeah, Radio Australia in the morning. 9580. I've been asked a lot about the Discord channel, but honestly, I'm not going there. I already do too much with all the stuff that I do, and I'm stretching a lot. There's a Facebook group, and I'll be very blunt here. There's a Facebook group. If you're not happy with Facebook and don't want to go there, so be it. That's you're okay. It's fine. But there's a Facebook group, and if you want to be on the Facebook group, be on the Facebook group. If you don't want to be on Facebook or anything, so be it. You're not on the group. That's all. But no, I'm not going to start stretching and doing a million things. Don't forget, guys, one thing, and I'm not frustrated right now. I'm just telling it as it is. 2 live shows, 3 hours, most of the time every week, plus all the videos, plus all the things that I do, plus I have the other channel to take care of. It's like, just reason with me for one little thing here, is that you guys are all getting it. I'm not asking for anything. Yeah, I might ask for donations for stuff, but I'm not asking, or nobody is or has to, pay anything. You've got all of this free, fun, so that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Okay. What else do we have? RG Dakota got several pirates on the 4th of July weekend. VA3 JPX, sometimes 6969 pirate from Ottawa fires up. Huh, interesting. Then Mark LeBlanc, I'm looking at used Kenwood TS68 OS 680S. Is this exclusive for ham radio, or can it be used for shortwave receiving? You got to check out the coverage. One of the biggest problems with older transceivers is that back in the day, they were not all unlocked for shortwave broadcasts and stuff. So you really need to look at the details. Go on the Kenwood side, or try to find just a manual, and look at the details of its frequency coverage for receive, because there were so many transceivers made in the past that had only the ham bands and not anything else. So that's the thing that you got to be careful. What else do we have? Great 24 fan. Yeah. I have a Discord account. I've been on Discord. Honestly, it doesn't fascinate me at all. But it's not just that. It's like, look, what could be arranged if somebody wants to send me an email and we could talk about, does somebody want to take care of it, and understand that I will not only be responsible for anything in it, but if for your pleasure, because of this, you would like to do one and be happy because you want to give back in that way, yeah, sure, we can talk about it. But you know what? All I gotta say is start doing everything I do, plus being a caregiver, and come back at me saying that you have to add another layer of stuff to do in your life. That's another story. Okay. And I'm not mad at anybody. Don't worry. It was not a ranting. It was just more of an observation of, You know, it's 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 a lot of work to take care of all sorts of stuff. Already, just a Facebook group doesn't show, but the Facebook group, you've got some of the moderators that will come back to you and say, well, do you see this activity, this thing here, this thing there, this thing there? I'm glad because I got amazing moderators here, the Facebook group. They're pretty autonomous. That's very nice. But you've got to set a limit of how many things do you want to do. And I don't do just that. I also have to record a show with Sheldon Harvey for the International Radio Report, write my column for the utility column every month for the CIDX Messenger, do YouTube videos. And you guys get the drift of you can at some point overdo it to a point where you might feel like, you know what, I got enough of all of it. So I don't want to reach that point. I want to reach the point where I still have fun. I want to be here having fun with you guys, not being here that, oh God, I got to do another live show. Get the drift. What else do we have? Oh, Jeff. I forgot Jeff King. I need to add Jeff King as a moderator. Still here, Jeff? Just say hi. I'm going to click on your name and add you as a moderator. Solitary radio listener. I don't blame you talking a month off. Everyone needs a break I don't blame you. Okay. Break from everything sometimes, a couple of years, sometimes a years. Yeah. It's like work a little bit. Also, it's, you need a break. And, it goes back to a question that had been asked a few weeks, a few months ago. How do you not get, to a point where you just don't want to do radio anymore? And that's for everybody, even for you guys, you can do too much radio. You can come up to a point where you've reached the moment of, you know what, I got enough. So we got to be careful of doing, you know, of doing a balance. You got to do a balance, and that balance means that yes, you got to do something else than radio. You can't just be doing radio all the time, because it's going to get to you, and you're going to not do it at all. So there are other things, like I do some gaming. I like to do PC gaming, stuff like that, and watch Netflix and just chill out and do some stuff. Go to the karaoke bar if I can and sing. And so you've got to be diverse in what you do, just to stay in it and be glad of doing radio when you come back to it. Bruce N9BH, thank you so much. Division 17, you got to do what's best for you. Yes. Jim's Radio Check, been through hard times the last couple of years. Thanks to Joel helping me make it through it. Well, you know what? If part of what I do here is also to keep your mind off of whatever is happening in your personal lives, because there's a lot of stuff happening in our lives, and there's shit happening from time to time. To have something to go to. One of the first comments, I still remember that comment. One of the first comments from the confinement, the lockdown of 2020, is a guy sending me an email and telling me, I am so glad that with the lockdown, you are still there doing live shows. It gives my life a sense of something normal to hang on to when everything else is just not working anymore. And you get a reach. Over the years that I've been doing this, actually, there's been a number of people that have reached up to me saying, thanks to what you do, because my somebody died, or now my wife. I remember one email is one of the viewers, his wife died, and it's like he's all alone, and it's a big change. It's something major in your life that happens when that happens, and it's like your show is keeping me busy, and your show is actually giving me a reason to continue with all the stuff and the radio stuff that I do. And you know it's you notice one thing, because when I started live shows, you have the impression of this barrier. That means your guys there online somewhere, and me here, and what you understand at some point is that no, it's not a clear cut. There's those people and there's you. It becomes there's those people that are becoming friends, and it's much closer. It's like you have some friends out there. It's not just there's people watching, and it's something you don't think of when you start, and then there's kind of a big friendship of everybody, and it's just cool. And that is part of the reason why also I'm still here, because it's just so much fun to see a great community of people coming together. Okay, we need to go to those websites soon. What else do we have? What else do we have? Harvey says, this is fun. Live events took me away from making these. I hope to keep, yeah, I hope you're going to be here again. JW, spoken like a man who needs vacation. Good. I need a vacation for myself. Can somebody take a vacation from his own person? Is that possible? Good. Here we go. But I'm happy that you guys are here. That's all I'm going to say. Mike WX50, permanent vacation. That is a great album also. So yeah, you gotta keep it fun. Exactly. Here we go. Jeff King. Here we go, Jeff King. Let's congratulate our new moderator. Da, 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 da. Jeff King, new moderator. That's cool. Thank you, Danielle Marc LeBlanc, for the donation. Mario DXer, I admit that I got burned out of radio stuff in the past and took 1 month or 2 break away from it. It will likely happen again. And it's normal to have ups and downs on radio also. I've been talking about on my 40 years, By the way, thinking about it, maybe on August 17th, something special needs to be done. Because August of 2022 is exactly 40 years of my first shortwave radio in August of 1982. So that means we should do a special show. We should do a special show for 40 years of shortwave. Plus, this fall, I think it's 10 years. Are we getting close to 10 years of live shows? If not, we're going to have to think about that. But 40 years. So I think maybe a shortwave history show would be great. And a little talk about my overall experience on 40 years of radio listening. And I have to check that out. 40 years when I come back of vacation. Marty boy, nice to have you here from the west coast of Scotland. Glenn, nice to have you here. KB9IN from Milwaukee. Arthur's out of Crafter's Kitchen. Other hobbies and interests. help keep me sane. Yeah, absolutely. You got to focus on different things. I actually been. I look like a kid when I go out because I actually bought two 4x4 remote control monster trucks, but they're really really cool, and you can actually buy parts to fix them when you break them. And I've been having a lot of fun. They actually go at 40 miles an hour, 40 kilometers an hour. Sorry, in real speed is like crazy. Hunter's Only Crafter's Kitchen have lost interest in the hobby a long time ago. Solid Radio listener. It's in almost 40 years of shortwave listening. I've taken at least 6 months off a few times. Life happens. Anything can be done to the extreme. And the 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 over the years, and life happens. First of all, this is a hobby in general, so life happens. Absolutely, life happens. And what happens with this is that we get to a point where there are times when we don't. I've been off and on, and I've been very intense. I would say from 82 to 88, 89. Went into college, applied sciences. You gotta be like just so you're in your books because it's just so complex. And then work, full-time jobs, and other interests. I mean, you meet people, and life takes a different turn because you meet that special someone, and all of that. And so it's all off and on. And I've listened every single year for 40 years, definitely, but I've had many months where I would not turn on the radio in some of those years. I probably am listening more now because I do this. And if I want to do this, I got to be in it, and I got to be in the game. But this is, yeah, this is kind of interesting. WF7 Iombrew. Yeah, you can say that Discord is kind of the replacement of the old internet relay chat. Yeah, kind of, kind of. Francis Moore, my mother's 96. Oops, I lost the post. Sorry. Coming back here. Darn it. Where am I? 623, 630. Wasn't that far away. Okay, here we go. Frances Moore, my mother, 96-year-old, and she is housebound. I am housebound, so going to Tesco a few times a week for no longer than 30 minutes. Shortwave is a way of keeping cabin fever at bay. I saw the comment on, because I see the chat real live there, but the question is, am I going on vacation or anything? I can't. I am a caregiver of somebody that needs intense care to a point where my life, and maybe that is probably taking the biggest toll for me. My life is spent, when you look at here, it's great and I'm happy and everything, but it's almost a prison because it's almost impossible for me to have time to do something else. You've noticed no Perry Island. I can't. I can't. I can't take the time to do that. I don't. It's impossible. Um, so I totally understand what you're saying, Francis, because I think we're living the same thing. And what happens is, it's a huge toll on a person to be a caregiver, and with the resources that are not often there to help you out. So the stress of it, the stress of, my mind is, I'm here doing the live show, but part of my mind is in, okay, next week there's an appointment. How are we going to do this? How am I going to be able to bring that person to that appointment? And how am I going to be, it's a constant stress of everything that you have to deal with. So you have that also that this is probably what's taking the biggest toll for me personally. And not being able to go out for more than just going to the groceries or the pharmacy or stuff like that. It's taking a toll on me. I can tell you guys that. So, anyways, don't want to bring you guys down. Um, RGA Dakota, I like to draw pictures of concepts like I think of future cars. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. No problem, Harvey. Happy to be here to do what I do. Bruce, I can't just do radio. I have to care for the chickens and horses. Ha ha. Well, that's another, kind of an interest also at the same thing. Um, Kamikaze 76, I need caregivers, so I know how hard it is to take care of someone just from the other side of things. Hang in there, Joe. No problem, guys. It's okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm a strong guy, so mentally, not just physically, but mentally also. So, I'm dealing with it. I'm dealing with it. Um, but it's, you guys know it's not always easy, and some of you have been there, and some of you on the other side, like we see here. Solitary radio listener. Here we go. Been here for a long time. There you go, man. Let's congratulate solitary radio listener for being moderator. Got a few more moderators here. Marty boy, Marconi transmitted first ever radio signal for the first reply. Sorry, this frequency is in use. I like that. Shortwave.info. Yep, definitely a website to know about. Absolutely. Take care, Tom the Extra 73. RG Dakota, have a caregiver. Yep. So I can appreciate what you do. Really a labor of love. Juggle it with your cat in your channel. So yeah, you know. So congratulations to Jeff King. Thank you, Robert Cross, for the donation. Harvey, 40 years of shortwave. Yes, a special show, but I beat you. Started in the 70s. Oh, I mean, a lot of you are beating me. A lot of you go way back, way back. 50 years, Jim's radio check. He says, sure done a lot of it in my experience, Harvey. So JW, his birthday is in August. Um, that's the thing about this, bringing yourself to do something with it. Bringing yourself to take all of what you have and do a live show and be forward and be out there as somebody contributing to the hobby. I think that is something cool. Miki Delmich, first shortwave logging was Radio Netherlands on August 23 of 72. So you're in there also. That means that you're at 50. I'm at 40. So definitely we'll have to celebrate the shortwave anniversary. Definitely. WSI Armbro show. That's a great idea. 40th anniversary show. If you can gather photos and do a slideshow of different times of your life, shacks and memories would be fun. Unfortunately, you know what? What's sad is that in the 80s, taking pictures is not something that happens much because why? You got to pay for every picture you take back then. It's not like today we have smartphones and digital cameras. We take 40 pictures of that flower just to have a perfect one. It doesn't matter how many pictures you take. So I do have a couple of pictures I'll bring up, but I don't have a lot, and I wish I would have had more of that era. I wish I would have had some from the time I had that Canadian military receiver. There's so many things I wish I would have had pictures of, but I'm going to try to gather as much as I can of everything from 40 years, for sure. Um, what else do we have? Let me just say, homebrew put together something like this myself recently in prison. Presented at a ham club meeting. Was great to go through memories. It is always fun to go through memories. RJD Dakota played radio most of his life, even as a teenager, had portable medium wave radios. First started listening to shortwave on a Perdido radio in the 60s. Tony, nice to have you on board from Ireland. Just congrats on 40 years of shortwave listening. And Uncle replaced by the PL368, so all good. Will you purchase the new? Well, I guess I have to now because I got some donations that are helping me out today. So I guess I'm going to have to. Gabrielle started in 1981, left on 1995, and got back thanks to this channel and Jill's recommendation. Cool. This is so cool. Francis, what else do we have? Whoops. Let me just... what else do we have? What else do we have? Let me just go down. So let's go down. David remembers when I started streaming from the kitchen with the on the laptop webcam and the ICOM ICRD 500 on top of the clothes dryer. Absolutely. And I can still remember how I was so stressed out to go live that day for the first time, thinking, man, I'm going to go live and people are going to watch. What am I going to look like? Ah, darn it. Good old days. RGA Dakota started maybe in the late 60s. First radio was in 76. Just on a crafter's kitchen. RC cars are still radio related. Yes, they are. You know what? You've been to Launch Rockets. I did a lot of rocketry in the 90s. And you know what? The local Circuit City, which was the old Radio Shack, they have leftover stuff and they're closing. I went to the Circuit City here because I wanted to see, because the mall, I think, doesn't have more than about, out of maybe 90 different stores, I don't think there's more than 10 or 12 that are open now. And the Circuit City is still open. The Source by Circuit City. I go in and I thought, before it closes, I'm going to go in and kind of, I went in also with the spirit of, get in the spirit that this was the Radio Shack when you were young, because it's exactly the same location. And I went in and got around. There was no one. There was the guy at the counter that was always asking me, "Are you looking for something?" No, it's okay. I'm just looking around. I get to the wall of all sorts of stuff on sale. They have rocket motors, the C65 for the smaller rockets that I would buy all the time from Hestis, the company, and they are discounting them at 99 cents per pack of 3 motors. So I look at the guy and I said, "These are 99 cents?" He says, "Yep." "How many do you want?" I say, "I'm going to take the box." I took the whole box. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm going to take the box. there's probably 30 motors in total. So it's like, come on, I'm going to take the box at 99 cents. These are like $15 each here. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna take the whole box. So it's like, I've got the motors, and I'm thinking, well, if I want to do some model rocketry again, I got motors in stock. So I'm gonna check that out. Angpar, nice to have you here from Los Angeles. Harvey, when did I start YouTubing? My first channel that I opened that doesn't exist anymore was around 2008. Then I opened this channel and the tech channel, and I think it's 2012 or something like that. And got a I got a email saying that monetization was available, and it was like, "What's monetization?" It's like, "Oh, you can actually earn money from YouTube." Oh, okay. So started growing. I started growing a lot of channels because I didn't know what to do, and I wanted to try to find. I wanted to find a something that would appeal to as much possible as we can. And I did an astronomy channel, a cooking channel, a I don't know how many, a gaming channel, a retro gaming channel with Commodore computers and stuff. A What did I do? Oh man, I did so many channels. I did the Czech channel, I did this channel, I did the VHF UHF channel, I probably did like 20 channels. And actually, if you look, there's a ranting video of a Finnish guy that claims that I've been using all these channels to make me popular, and which is absolutely untrue. Um, but I was looking for what will take on, and could I actually do a living off of it? And so that's why I did a lot of channels. It's like, what's going to take on, and I'm going to keep the ones that are popular, and I'm going, the other ones are just going to go away. And what happened is, as time went by, it was obvious that there were a couple of channels that were really taking on, and the what happened is I kept the ones that were working, and I just dumped the other ones. So I kept this channel. I kept the the UHF channel, which is now the V2ZZI channel that I really need to do something about. And the tech channel was extremely popular, which is the popular channel for me. This is the award I got here from YouTube is from the tech channel, because that channel is really much more popular. But this one is quite popular. I mean, for a shortwave channel, I'm surprised at the amount of subscribers and people here. And and I've been constructing stuff and thinking, can I one day actually do? Can I actually one day do a living and make a living off of it? And I've achieved that. I'm not a millionaire and I'm not rich. It pays the bills. It pays everything, and it does a good job at it. I'm not poor, but I'm not one of those influencers that have 10 million subscribe people watching and making millions of dollars. I'm not there at all. But that's where I've reached. I've reached the and that's when we talk about how dealing with things in your life. Um, I deal with things in my life, like being a caregiver, in a different state from many other people, meaning that I am lucky and proud to have grown something that means I have achieved the possibility of living my life. I mean, think about it, guys. Living my life, buying shortwave radios and listening and talking about them. How cool can that be? I mean, anybody that loves radio would be killing to be there and make a living off of talking about it. Same thing with the tech channel. I love computers and technology. And what happens is I've been able to achieve living with um living with, you know, doing what I love that gives me enough money to pay everything, to be happy. And I think there's a compensation. And the compensation is being a caregiver is tough, but I do it in the context of a guy that lives a cool life doing what he likes. So maybe that's why part of it is, there's a compensation there that's like, you live from you work from home, you can take care of somebody, and you can work from home doing the stuff you love. It's kind of cool. I mean, there are caregivers out there that have to go to their 9 to 5 jobs, do that, and be a caregiver at night, and it's tougher than what I'm living through, even though it's not easy. There are levels of there are levels of complaining about something. um I'm not that bad in my situation, honestly. You got to take that into account, definitely. Okay. Jim's radio check. What sparked my interest in radio? One day I had a pocket AM radio and I could hear St. Louis, and I was so impressed. That's pretty much what all of us happens. We turn on the radio and it's like, whoa, really? Okay. Daniel Mark LeBlanc, Todd, retirement was going to be a breeze. Beep. I was wrong. You also need vacations for when you're retired. And and so many people, it's so many people that I see that actually retire and actually have more stuff to do than before. Oh man. So Hank Parr, nice to have you here. Marty boy, hello. JW, caregiving is hard work, underrated and underappreciated. Yep, absolutely. Joseph, you're doing the right thing, Joe. I admire you for being a caregiver. Harvey, more power to you. The caregiver, I didn't realize. Totally understand. TV Ostrovsky, you've reached a point of saturation several times. You got to know when to walk away. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hank Parr, Professor Jill is a jack of all trades. Daniel Mark the here's Jill. I'm also a caregiver. Be well and have a good vacation. I have to go. Take care, my friend. It was nice to have you here. Yep, caregivers need self care. Definitely. Sheila, thank you for being a caregiver. Thank you so much. Anthony, nice to have you here from Port Richey, Florida. Air 24 fan. Jill, I lived it with my mom. Was dying of cancer 2010. Yep, that's. I will stay tough, man. For me, it's the second time because I lived through it with my mom also. So think about it. I lived through it with my mom in 2007 2008 before she passed away. I'm living it again now. Let's go down. So David says, can perfectly understand. 90 plus years old grandma is here with us. Requires constant care too. Limiting and stressful, but I think it's also ultimately very fulfilling. Yep. Definitely. Anthony, question: does an MLA 30 Plus work better mounted away from the house? Say it will lower the noise because it's an antenna that automatically, because magnetic loops, the way they are designed, already lowers a certain amount of noise. Moving it away from the house probably will lower that noise even more. So if you can. MDK2, I go back to 2016 with these shows. Show was on YouTube by then, but if you wanted to interact, you had to go to the IRC. Yeah, there was the IRC. Yes, absolutely. There was the IRC chat. Definitely. Definitely. Horizontal Crafter's Kitchen, 1977, first shortwave listening year. RGA Dakota, my first shortwave radio basic 4-band, Realistic Astronaut 4. Looks like something by today's standard would be on Stranger Things episode. Hey, you want to have Stranger Things stuff? I got the TRC there that you could see just here. That is one of the TRC walkie-talkies they're using in the first season. That clock is probably not totally accurate. It probably is, I would say, 4 or 5 seconds off. No problem, Bobby. We'll check it out for the Discord. Yep, pictures are expensive. Absolutely. It's like, when we had to make long distance calls that we did at after 11 p.m. because it was so expensive back then. Party boy listen to the BBC World Service and VOA on his baby monitor. RJD Dakota, I would pay quite a bit. Whoops, lost the post going down as fast. We're going to try to get to a little bit of websites now, guys. Quite a bit to get my camera film developed at that time. Remember Photomat or Fox Photo? Oh, wow. Danny, Shortwave and Radio DX. Nice to have you here from Yonkers, New York. Storms, radios, and cats. Pictures didn't always turn out very well. No, that's also a problem. Man. Been playing radio since I was 7 or 8 years old, 55 now, and haven't stopped. Really appreciate this channel. Thank you very much. 5085 is on, apparently. WTWW. Yeah, the show must go on, Bowmans. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mike WX50, I remember seeing some of Gilles' early shows. Where was there the pirate flag back then? On the first ones, no, it wasn't there. Then it appeared at some point. It appeared in a different situation. I was on that side, this side. There's all sorts of changes coming in. Here, there will be at some point a 40-inch TV. Maybe when we come back in August. Danny Shortwave, thank you so much. Yeah, I never showed myself. That's true. I think when the live show happened, I had never shown myself on camera before. I had never shown myself on camera before. And you guys probably understand it. Think of yourself doing videos. You have several ways of doing them. One with, I'm just going to do them, showing stuff, not showing myself. But when it comes time to show yourself, it's a different game. Because it's like, yeah, so I'm going to show my face to everyone now. It's more stressful for some reason. Not today. I get on the air and it's like, if you don't like my face, there's other channels. But there's some stress in there. Francis, what does it mean when I put my input says slow mode plus I found a few of my dance cards? Oh, when you mean slow mode here on the chat, because I activated slow mode, which is a 10-second delay. There's a 10 seconds delay for the chat, and I put it because of the spam that we're getting. I found a few of my dad's cars. There were hundreds, but all lost. Wow. Harvey needed some things that I got from Radio Shack in the past, and there is nobody carrying it today. And this is progress. Yeah. Paul the Cat, Chunky, nice to have you here. Paul the Cat is great. Francis, you made my day. Hey, feel for you, man. Robert Cross started watching YouTube show during lockdown when I started interest in radio. Tony, great to see SDR play. Will be tearing down SDR Uno, rebuilding it as SDR Connect. Yeah, it's supposed to be multi-platform. So there should be a Mac and a Linux version. That's going to expand their possibilities. Danny Shortwave, I remember my old brother built an Estes model rocket kit and the space shuttle, and that thing crashed into a power cable and blew up to pieces. Youch. Youch. No problem, Greg. I will say hello to Paul the Cat. Jim's Radio Check. I started watching this channel in two hands and a radio when I first started watching YouTube videos about radio. Matt, that rant, and that guy was actually Australian. Yeah, he was an Australian guy in Finland. And you know, the funny part about it is that that thing backfired because when he ranted, it actually attracted a lot of people to see who I am. So it was kind of almost an advertisement rather than a bad video. And it was just so funny because like, hey, I'm here and subscribed because of that guy. I was like, yeah, okay, I know. It's just I don't know. You know that guy. It's sad because that guy was, and I said it in the past. That guy did great videos, but unfortunately, attacking others and treating them like trash is not the way you're going to get people. You know, do what you have to do, and you know, I don't talk about other radio channels. I, you know, everybody does what he has to do, whether it's good or it's bad. It's not up to me to talk about that. I'm not here for that. Harvey, oh boy, that's right. I remember the grunts going on about some of your channels. Oh man. Rorak, speaking of old sites, that what became of your rock and roll sites? You know, there are a lot of channels that I've just they're still up there. I don't think I've deleted anything. But you know, Harvey, I need an hour for this channel. Thank you. Hank Parr, Professor Shell. Harvey, can you do a little French? I don't understand it, but love what part of the country. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna actually take that phrase and translate it in French. Est-ce que tu pourrais parler en français? Je ne le comprends pas, mais j'adore la culture de ton pays. Oh, how about it? Was that okay? Not rich, not poor. I make a living in this. That's great, Joe. You know, richness is not just money. I've said it many times. Richness is in a lot more things than just a dollar amount. Yeah, color radio. I can support my habit to some point. Yes, of course. $1,000 ethon. I hope they don't happen every month because that's going to be a little too much. But but you guys are coming through, so it's really cool for that. Tony, it's good, Joe. The old saying goes, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day. You know, it's not a work. For me, this isn't work. You know, I'm having fun. I wake up in the morning and I'm happy. Bobby, I've been wanting Jill to rest to rest this gaming channel, but name it official shortwave gaming. Well, I reactivated the retro gaming. So, and the reason why is because over there I've installed properly the Commodore 128 that has a Commodore 64 in it, of course, the Amiga 500, the Atari 1040 ST. So I'm talking about, you know, Thank you, JW, for the donation. Much appreciated. Keegan DX have been FMDXing since June 1st, 2013. First station that he got is 88.9 KNPR in Las Vegas, Nevada. Were you amazed that day? Was that what started all? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, RSC. I remember chatting for the first time on IRC way back in the 90s and being amazed that we could actually talk to each other in real time. It was just crazy. Unheard of. Keegan DX's first shortwave station, WWV. RV, long distance. Gee, that is so true. And now it's all free. Pretty much, eh? We were screwed by these big companies back then. I remember I had a BBS, a bulletin board system that I had to log on with a modem on my Commodore in 1985, 6, somewhere there. And it was a long distance from Montreal. I actually had to wait after 11 p.m. when it was the lowest price possible to log on and stay there for an hour. And man, I was counting these minutes. I was counting these minutes. Harvey hated showing himself when you zoom. Imagine there's a lot of people that probably hated doing that. Keegan discovered this channel sometime between June and July 2013, after watching a video on the Grundig S450 DLX. Aha. Wow, it's been so long. Man. David, you're already a natural on camera. I don't know what that means, actually. Somebody, actually, a friend of mine, that watched this stream one day just because he was curious to see what it was all about. And we had a beer one day, and he said, "You know what? I looked at you on the camera on that live stream. You're just like, it's you look natural. You're just beautiful doing it. It's like you just do it, and that's it. And you're actually fun to watch." And I'm like, "Really? Okay. I would not consider myself fun to watch, but okay." Gary 24 fan Sheldon may not be the phase that launched 1,000 ships, but it is the phase that brought 1,000 radios. Can e-skip be predicted, Doug? Um, yes and no, and the answer to that, why I say yes and no, is no, because sporadic e-skip is what it is, sporadic. But you could have hints of maybe when it could happen. Often we talk about how France cold and really hot weather in the summertime, and the France with all these thunderstorms going through, might be an indication that maybe it could. Uh, it's there's a possibility of, yes, predicting it for sure. Harvey, is your cat still around? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. He's sleeping in the bedroom, actually. But yeah, absolutely. Paul the cat is fat, probably compared to when you saw him last. Is fat now, but he's still alive and kicking. Keegan, the closest I get is occasionally having my voice in one of my YouTube videos. That's the other thing. I mean, I hear myself all the time now. I passed that. Oh my god, that's what I sound like. But honestly, I got this big voice, and a lot of people are all the time are saying, "No, you got that radio voice. You really have that powerful voice for, doing radio or anything." Um, yeah, the Australian Matt says, yeah, Australian Finnish guy was weird. He got on Facebook and pretty much immediately started making enemies because he was certain he was the smartest And woe un, unto you if you didn't agree. Yeah, it was one of those hams because he's a ham operator. It was one of those guys that I know the truth, and you're an idiot. And what was probably sad is because I got a few radio channels that I communicate with from time to time, where we send each other messages of things. I got a few comments um, of, oh, who that guy is? Because he made a hurtful comment on my channel, like I'm an idiot or like I'm ignorant. And I said, oh, yeah, yeah, that guy. That guy is always like that. He didn't, he actually took a big rant at me. And obviously, because he was probably extremely frustrated that his channel could not take on as mine was. So for him, the idea behind my channel is actually getting more popular than yours. You must be cheating. And it's the type of guy like that. It's like, well, my content is so good for your channel to be better than mine in terms of, subscribers. You're cheating. It's not a question of cheating. It's a question of just do it right and be patient, and it's gonna be there. It's gonna grow. I was actually subscribed to him when he ranted back at me because I liked what he did until he started ranting at everybody. Then yeah, okay. Especially when he did that video against me. I was like, yeah, okay. Now I got my first real big enemy on YouTube. Sir Maximus Hardwood. Any portable receivers that have a waterfall? Well, there's the Malahite, the famous Russian receiver, but I don't even know if it's available right now. As we have Bowman's. Am I right in saying Titanic radio distress signal was 500 kilohertz CQD? That's an interesting question. We know it's CQD. Is the frequency 500 kilohertz? Probably. We're talking of a what? It's 19. What Titanic is what? 1914. What's the year of the Titanic? We're in the really early days of radio, and we're not yet capable of really doing a lot of high frequencies. 1912. Okay, thanks, guys. 1912. We're not in 1912. We don't know yet how to do high frequency. Um, it's difficult because the equipment is extremely basic still, and I I would think it's in the long wave or that medium wave 500 kilohertz is probably a very plausible frequency. That must have been it, I would guess, because there was no there was pretty much no HF capability back then. It was spark gap transmitters, so they were like they were low frequencies. Was there was there another, one of the things we might be looking at is, was there some other frequency for distress back in 1912, or was 500 kilohertz already an official distress call frequency? That we need to research to really know, but definitely it was very low frequency. It's like the famous transmission from Marconi from Newfoundland. It can be in a very high frequency. And I will say what I have to say here, and I don't want to cause a controversy on it. Now, history teaches us that they made contact from what? Newfoundland to um, to Ireland or the UK, and I look at the look at the frequency, the time that they mention where the experiment went through, and I'm like, huh, okay. I guess we got to accept that it must have been. There's no recording of it, I don't think. There's no video of it, I don't think. I don't know if somebody has any info more than that, but it always made me wonder. Yeah, okay. I'd be curious to have been there and see it by myself. But it's history, and history is saying that, and I guess we got to accept it. Keegan, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what sparks an interest in something like that. That FMDX thing you got, that sparked the interest immediately. Joseph, BBS board games are the best. Oh man, RV had a VIC 20. I started on the VIC 20. That was my first computer. Joseph, Shelley is 100% adept YouTuber. You're a charming gentleman. Okay, I'll accept that. Tebow Strosky, I like this channel because it's honesty and lack of pretension, unlike some that are revenue focused. Yeah, I'm not that, and that's not what I want. So many people told me, "Oh, you could create specific content that people pay for." And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I don't want to create classes of people that are going to watch different things. Nope, nope, don't want to do that. Alexander wants to with the websites. Man. Oh, RV, don't listen to your voice and don't give it a way of being. It doesn't, I don't know how many times in all my whole life I got guys. Very simple. Next door neighbor in the other side of the street told me that one day. He's been there for at least 10 years, and sometimes we have a chat. The big strong guy, wife, kids, and everything, but he's got this really high pitched voice. And one day we met at the corner bar and had a few beers. And he said, I got to say one thing. I'm jealous. I said, what? I'm jealous because I hate my voice. I sound high, whiny, effeminate. And it actually, that's the words he used. And I'm like, that's the voice you have. It's all right. It sounds fine. He says, yeah, you got that big guy voice. That's the voice I wanted. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't do anything about it. It I got to say it helps because when you're in high school, I had that voice. I still remember in French class. We it's the first class, and you know the teacher is giving out the names of everybody so we could say we're here, and she calls on my name and says, oui, présent. The girl at the desk next to me, she looks at me, she says, oh my God, that man voice is amazing. It makes you sound so sexy. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you. It's like, it's just funny. It's the way we are. It's the way we, I get it. And I think that's one of the things that why radio presenters, how many of us have seen a radio guy, and we never saw the guy ever because on the radio. And one day he's on TV and you're like, huh, I was not expecting that voice to look like that. It's just, and a voice is just so curious. And, I remember when I went on the, like, those dating sites where you just like, or dating phone things that, I tried it once in the 90s, and it's like, they hear your voice, and when they see you, it's like they made an image, and you make an image also. You hear the voice of somebody, you make an image of, well, must look like that. No, it doesn't work like that. The voice and what you look like, forget it. You can't match in your head anything about it. Funny things about things. How often are these live streams? Is there a schedule? They're twice a week, JW. They are Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Thursday, technically 0 hours Universal Time. And they are Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 20 hours Universal Time. Okay, so we got to talk about websites before I leave. Absolutely. We will go through that. Robert Cross, take care, my friend. Nice to have you here. RV says, I couldn't afford a cassette recorder, so I lost every time I turned it off. Okay, so if I missed out on anything, guys, okay, I'm just gonna say quickly because I know I went down fast. Marvin Motts, nice to have you on board. Simone, nice to have you here. What do we have? Doug, nice to have you here. What do we have? Matt, he actually commented on what was my most popular video for a while in my last copy of Radio Australia the day they shut off. Huh. John, nice to have you here. WPE4KNC, Virginia. And what else we have? Let me just go down. Then your Shortwave, first computer, Commodore 64. 2 of them now. 1541 drive. Wow. Yeah, I got that SD2 IEC thing too. I sound just fine, says WFJ59. Cool. Greg started watching my YouTube videos in 2016. Cool. So let's check it out here. O.J. Jenkins, General Patton's voice was high and squeaky. Yeah, you have the voice that you have. You can't do anything about it, pretty much. John, cheers from Val d'Or. Cheers. I got this left. Cheers. Up north from Montreal. A little up, quite a lot up north from Montreal. Marvin Motts, your image generally matches your voice. A young, bearded, retired, but slightly salty seafarer who retired from whaling in Nova Scotia. Oh, God. Francis, those moments where you gotta ask your parents, can I have that radio? Oh, man. I'll have the full story of my first radio when I come back on August, because we're going to do that 40 years and 40th anniversary show. It's going to be there. 40th anniversary show. Take care, Francis. Okay. Quickly, we're going to go to email. We got a lot of emails, by the way. So let's start with the first email I got. Charles Williams, that is sharing a site that has propagation areas for medium wave stations. Very helpful for DXing. So, okay. Check it out. I will share a few sites that I use, first of all. And the websites that I use all the time, there is let me just go here. So, first of all, the number one site I go to all the time, you guys know it, for schedules, is eibispace.de. Now, I know this is not the easiest site to go through for schedules, but it is one of the most accurate most of the time. So eibispace.de, if you're looking for schedules for not just international broadcasts, but also for utility stations. It is more than just international broadcasts. And that's what I like about this list. It's divided into two lists, by time or by frequency. And that's what I like. Now, that's my thing because I know that people often like to have more of a visual and an easier way of finding stations, which I totally understand because I know that EIBI space is kind of a little tough when you're not used to it, basically. So the alternative to this, if you are not used to it, is to use shortwave short oops dash wave dot info. So this is a nice website. It's more user friendly because what happens here is that you can actually just punch in a frequency and see what happens. There's a beautiful map with it that actually will give you the um, transmitter locations and everything. It's easier on all of that for sure. So if you're looking for the a station, what are you listening to, and so on, and schedules, that's also nice. The problem that I have with that site is that sometimes it's a little a little kind of missing on some of the latest updates on the station. So people punch in a frequency and it's like, okay, that's not in. But that's one. I'm going to give out also another one that I'm using a lot before I share the love of everybody else. And thanks, guys, for sending me those websites, by the way. There's the pirate list. If you like to listen to pirates, if you want to know when pirates are in town, if somebody's out there, this is the website, which is HF Underground. HF Underground, you will see all of the pirates stations that are on right now. So, for example, if I look at it right now, HF Underground, and I click Shortwave Pirates, what it's telling me is that at this time, as we're doing this, Stoner Radio is on 6931. Is there going to be a station here? Let's check it out. 6.931. Yep, there's definitely a signal there on upper sideband. So let's check it out. It's not very strong, but I hear it. So I do see it on the display. So there you'll have in real time pretty much all the pirates that you can get. You like number stations? A lot of people are wondering in these days, are there number stations out there? Bet there are. Preom is the number one place to see schedules of pirate stations, see what's on the air next, see what's coming up in the schedules. Amazing. There's a beautiful archive of recordings of past and present number stations. It's really, really a cool site. You have to put that in your favorites, that's for sure. A little promotion to my friend Thomas Witherspoon also, because if you're a newbie in the shortwave hobby, there's a great website, which is shortwavelistening.com. All sorts of news about shortwave, but also reviews of radios, commentary on new radios and old radios. Lots of very, very cool information for anybody starting out in the hobby. Shortwavelistening.com, which is swing.com. Here we go. Maintained by Thomas Witherspoon. There's an audio archive of past and present broadcasts that you can go to also, which is really cool. So This is really, really nice. So these are going to be the ones I'm going to share for me. Now, we have our friend here, that Charles Williams, that has shared with us US medium wave um, pattern references, maps with radio pattern. Okay, so this is cool because it's AM radio, but AM radio patterns. So, stations have different patterns depending on, night, daytime, and so on. And you want to know if you have a chance maybe at DXing or whatever. So there's medium wave pattern references. Check it out. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to keep all of those because I'm going to make videos with these. And so here's the sharing of the website URL if you guys want to check it out. What else do we have? We have, and by the way, yep, okay. We have Paul that has a link. PSK reporter map, great for checking propagation. So this is another website to check it out, PSK reporter, which what happens with PSK reporter is that everybody can use a PSK reporter. And with the FT8 and everything, they can actually report on propagation and stuff. I'm going to share this. I'm going to look at it more as a website and everything. So I'm going to share that so you guys can actually look at it and make your own idea of this. So thank you for sharing. Now we have also, so Richard Lemke, nice to have you on board. As usual, sorry for being late and saying hello in St. Albert, Alberta. Arthur Smith is sharing with us. Radio J Island, definitely a place to go. Yes, totally agree. This is a place where there's a lot of radio, and that guy's going to have a review of the Ethon, that's for sure. I go there regularly to see his reviews of radios that I review, see if we agree, and he's pretty good in his reviews in general. So, Radio J Allen, and we're going to add in there, because he talks about it, another guy that reviews radios that is great. And let me just find it here. Dave radio reviews. So N9EWO, Dave Zantel. This is also a place to look at for radio reviews. This guy has tons of reviews of all sorts of radios and transceivers. So if you're looking for a radio or transceiver or want to have more news about a specific radio, this is another website to check out. So this is great. Now let's go back to the Gmail and see what else we're going to share quickly. Paul Muffet has some URL. So he's got a lot. Shortwave.info, shortwave listening, shortwave.info index frequencies. I'll share two of them, and we'll actually share them off. So they're shortwaveschedule.com, but eham.net, definitely one of the interesting places also for standard reviews of radios from folks that purchased it. Also, it's interesting because what I like about eham, they kind of give you a hint of, well, today that radio shouldn't be more than this amount. So even a old radio, they're going to give you a price point where you should, this is the price it should be today as a used radio. It's kind of interesting for that also. So definitely a great website. And I'm going to share also from his place, of course. You don't have a radio, and even if you do have a radio, this is definitely the place and the site to know about, which is Kiwi SDRs. They're online receivers all across the world that they can tune to listen to radio shortwave radio from any place and almost any location around the world. So this is definitely something that you need to check out if you want to tune around. It's fun because what I do is I use it to tune around and hear a station. Maybe I won't hear here, or sometimes it's cool because you can, as a ham radio operator, you can actually check out if your signal is going across to a specific area. Here we go. Then, so thanks for sharing, and I'm gonna look at the other ones that I have not, don't know what they are. Anything else? If you like and want to try digital mode decoding, and I think this is a website that you need to reference to and check out, there's something that is interesting, which is the shortwave radiogram. So the shortwave radiogram is something that has been happening for a while. It used to be called they had a different name before. It was a VOA radiogram because it was broadcast from the Voice of America. But Kim Andrew Elliott is actually, which is he's an old VOA guy, still maintains and on different frequencies and times a shortwave radiogram, which is a nice 30-minute digital bulletin that you can decode with software. So if you want to check it out, it's kind of cool. Shortwave radiogram is definitely something to look at. And if you're looking into dabbling the different digital modes, this is actually very cool for that, honestly. Let's check it out here quickly. What do we have? DJW has signal, yeah, signalwiki.com. Yes, definitely. If you're trying to identify something, definitely this is a definitely a website to check out. The Signal Identification Guide. You can go here and you can actually check out if you can match whatever you're hearing with audio clips and even SDR waterfall pictures of what you're listening and maybe know what it is exactly. So Signal Identification Guide, definitely a must-go website also. So these are great. Thanks you guys for sharing. And a lot of them I know, but it's easy to forget about some of them and not share necessarily. Mike Hill, Radio Links. Let's check out what we have here. Recordings with Shortwave Archive. Yes, absolutely. Radio Locator. Find radio stations. Radio J. Allen. Let's share the Shortwave Archive if you guys want to hear some good old broadcasts from the past and the present. This is also linked, by the way, to the SWL ING website from Thomas Witherspoon. This is a great, great place to go. You'll hear a lot of great stuff that might make you nostalgic at times. And he's always looking for new recordings, by the way. So there's a lot of stuff in here, so I might not have to go. FM Scan. This is a great website, definitely. Radio frequencies and transmitter maps from all around the world, and from FM, AM, TV, digital broadcasting. There's frequency lists and so on. Definitely a great website. It even has all the information of how strong station could be where you live when you are surrounded by FM radio stations. So definitely fmscan.org is great. So we got this here. Check it out. Definitely. Larry Spinner has HF Underground, Shortwave Listening Post, voecap.com, WBCQ. So what do we have? Larry Van Horn's utility military site. That is updated regularly, by the way. So if you want to have a list of frequencies for utilities, military, and stuff, let's share that. And by the way, guys, I'm not going to share everything that you guys have sent me, but I will make videos with it. So look at the videos that are going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that that you might enjoy in there in those websites. So thank you so much for sharing. Anything else here? Keegan website for FM radio database. So here I'm going to share also searchable database of North American FM radio stations, United States, Canada, Mexico, Central America, Caribbean. So that could be really cool, especially in North American DX season for FM. We're going to share that. Thank you, Keegan, for sharing that with us. And David, some links. VOA Cap, DX Fund Cluster. Let's share a few, but like I said, I'm not going to share everything, but I will make videos, guys. So you're not sharing it for nothing. I am definitely going to make videos also. This I use a lot, the cluster, the DX Fund cluster, where you can actually see ham radio stations that are on the air right now. So it's cool when you, for example, as when I turn on my ham gear and I want to make contacts, I look at this and I try to see if I can hear some of the DX stations and try to contact them. This is very useful if you want to try to DX different stations. So DX Fun Cluster, definitely worth it to check out. Don't forget to put the language that you want, because it's in Spanish at first, but you can click French or English on this. Quickly, fmlist.org, AMSAT status, satellite status. Yes, if you like satellite listening or contacts, this is definitely something also. Here we go. And I'm keeping all your emails, guys, because I'm going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to actually keep it at that for now. Thanks so much for sharing, guys. I'm keeping the emails because there's going to be a lot of videos coming up with these different websites for sure. I hope that this is really going to help some of you with all of what's available in the sphere. And there's a lot more. So look at the videos I'm going to be posting of the different other things that's in there, because I mean, definitely there's going to be a lot of stuff. So thanks, guys, for sharing this. What else do we have? Let me go down. Thank you, Greg, for the nice comments on the YouTube videos. What else do we have? Let me just check it out here. Radio locator has patterns too, says Danny Shortwave. Radio locator is nice. MDK2, I like that medium wave pattern map, but it doesn't include Mexican or Cuban stations, which I think is a bad omission. I was going to do this here, guys. Sorry. There we go. What else do we have? Take care, Harvey. Hope to see you again, my friend. I think it was 5 hours and 30 minutes. This is the longest I've ever gone. 5 hours and 30 minutes. JW, what does 73s mean? 73 is simply a greetings. It's, just a friendly greeting in amateur radio code, basically. It's like a take care. Um, Matt says, I'm trying to remember who it was, but there is a ham in South Dakota whose QRZ.com page has a lengthy, let's call it an essay about the correct usage of 73. Oh, please, guys. There was a discussion on the Facebook group at some point. It's like, I don't care. 73, 73s. Who cares? Who cares? We know what it means. Stop being finicky about it. Just stop being finicky about it. That's all. The Win 1960, nice to have you here. Thomas Skitz, nice to have you here. Tom and Susie in North Michigan. Got into the 80s there. Cool. Vince, thanks, Jill. I fixed my Whistler WS40. There is an attenuation button now. It's fine. Yeah, I was figuring that, these radios are very, very sensitive. And I was figuring that maybe it was just because it was overloading. For sure. Larry, this has been a great show. Thank you, everybody. Marathon show. Well, we'll look at that on next Saturday. Maybe what we'll do is do a little something special. It'll be, a great QSL show. We'll have audio clips. Remember some of the old broadcasts. I might be eating pizza live on the show. How about it? We'll just take it easy and go with the flow. It'll be the last show before that's for sure. My WDX50. How about 73s? Oh, God. Oh, Mac. Yeah. So, hey, guys. I'm going to say good night for today. 3 hours 42. Not bad. Our show today. So, for those that missed it, remember, guys, that the next two shows are the last before I'm taking a month off. There's going to be a show on Wednesday. Going to be a show next Saturday. Special QSL show with old QSLs, radio stories, and audio clips for all of it. Then, next Saturday, last show, we'll be back August 17th. And be prepared for something special because it's going to be the 40th anniversary of my introduction to shortwave radio. 40 years of listening in August of 1982. So, you know what? I think it's going to be something special there. So, take care, guys. Stay safe. Love you all. Sincerely. Nice to have a back and forth conversation. And it's just so cool that you are all here all the time. And I am happy to be here to entertain, have radio fun. I will be going to cook a little something, and I'll be listening to the radio tonight. So if I hear anything, Facebook group, and I'll be posting what's I'm listening to, and hope that everybody enjoyed the show today. Take care, guys. Love you all. Okay. And thanks for the donations. Now I know that I have to buy a new Ethon receiver to review and talk about it on my videos. Take care, my friends. Stay safe, okay? And for all of you that got COVID, take care of yourself.